team. Hope you're all feeling good. We're going to be beginning the WardiTV European League playoffs today with some PvPE. As it should be, as it has been throughout this event. There's been a lot of PvP, no surprises there. Let me just get 1 second of setting up done, and then we'll kick this off. The players in the lobby. And we are getting ready to begin. Begin. Sounds good. Alright, let me just fix this. DJ Crispy, thank you so much for the 20-month resub as well. Let's start the day off. Hello everyone. Alrighty, how are we feeling? We're going to start the day with Mana versus Night Phoenix. Alrighty, hello everyone. Gehenna2298, thank you so much for the 4-month resub on the Prime as well. We are starting off with Mana versus Night Phoenix as mentioned. We're ready to go in game. Are you guys ready for some European League playoff action? I hope you are, because whether you like it or not, it's coming to you right heckin' now. We're gonna have 5 best of 5s today. Mana versus Night Phoenix, ByuN versus Yakov. The winner of those two series against each other. Showtime versus Nikoract, Art versus HARSTEM, and then that will be it for us today. So that's our 5 best of 5s for today. Let's go in game and cast some StarCraft 2, shall we? Let's get on that beautiful indie cam. Then I can just sit back, relax, and enjoy the games. Alrighty, yeah, sorry, just getting a little couple things set up, guys. A couple play actually. Just ask me something as we got started, but we should be all good. Oh, how's everyone feeling? How's everyone doing? Is there any more SC2 offline tournaments for the year? Probably not. Is there anything for the rest of this year offline? I'm trying to think. I mean, we have Home Story Cup will be in January this year, so not Home Story. Usually we have that at the end of the year. I think the reality is just probably not. I know there's a few different people that want to run offline events, but realistically, I think the majority of people I know about, myself included, I also want to run an offline event next year. I think the reality is that it's just not this year, right? Like, it's something that I think a lot of people are planning ahead on doing, but it's hard to have that plan ahead kind of figured out right now. So that's where where I think a lot of people are kind of at / kind of stand. So. Yeah, for the rest of this year, I don't know if there's anything coming up, unless I've forgotten something. So, PvP time. Stargate versus Stargate, Stalkers versus Adepts. And we get ourselves underway. Proxies as well, so very aggressive play coming in here to kickstart this PvP off with. As you do see, the probe is going to be coming around. RSL LAN event. Yeah, I guess maybe RSL. They hit the funding. Yeah, I guess RSL finals if they hit the funding or whatever they need to do to do the RSL offline bit. But it's kind of whatever. I feel like there's gonna... I think like next year there'll be a lot more stuff, just nothing coming up in the immediate future. Couple of depths coming by. This one goes down. I think it's kind of an interesting period. As man's the one to get all of the probe kills. Jeez, I think it's an interesting period because obviously, like, we just had a real rush of events as well. So no one's been in a rush to kind of set anything up for like the end of this year, because I think, again, everyone says, hey, if we want to do a LAN event, like, let's think ahead to next year, because I think there is going to be a lot of opportunity to run stuff next year. And now that people are a little bit more kind of prepped up to kind of do that, then there is kind of, you know, it just takes a bit of preparation time, right? And squishing things in between EWC and Christmas is like, ugh. There is going to be the Comeback TV tournament, actually. The Maestros of SCT, I forget what the tournament's called, but they're going to have a tournament throughout September, and the grand finals of that is offline at the end of September. So there is that. I just remembered that one now talking about it. So there is that one. So that'll have like an offline finals. So, yeah. Oracle gonna come through. I mean, this is obviously a disaster start for Night Phoenix, who just lost way more workers than what he was able to get when they were both open in a very similar way. Man is obviously going to kind of just dominate this game from here on out, it would seem. Oracle going to go after a couple more probes. This is nice for Mana, just continuing to keep the pressure up. Obviously a very comfortable opening game, but he's not going to let up the pressure at all. He's going to go the entire way through. As the Oracle drops a stasis ward down. Actually catches a few Stalkers. Night Phoenix might have bought himself a few seconds to survive in here, but is not ready yet as the Oracle comes around the right side. A couple Stalkers are going to get there, and they are going to go push that Oracle back the other way. I mean, as soon as these Stalkers pop out their stasis, I'm pretty sure we can just go. Stasis. Gonna pop on the Stalkers again! Pain as the couple Stalkers get chased. We will see one of them just going down right now. So that is going to be a grab. The Nexus and the Twilight Council coming through, a probe coming up. I mean, Mana just continue to build behind this. Honestly, I mean, the stasis ward's helping him out a lot. He has these Phoenix, which absolutely could lift some units up and make a difference as well. If he wants to actually commit to this fight, which he will start to do. A couple force skills went down from Night Phoenix defensively. We're going to pull the probes in to help with the defense here. Man, they're going to target fire beyond the probes and go after the sentries. A couple more Stalkers showing up, honestly, from Night Phoenix makes this look very defendable. Phoenix just lifting up Stalkers now, even taking some of those numbers out of the equation here. As a couple of Stalkers trying to retreat away are getting caught, chased, and I want to say cornered, but they're not really getting cornered, but they are getting chased the hell out of there, so that's going to be a major pushback. And Mana is actually not just going to come through this and win the game instantly. Don't get me wrong, still up 10 workers, still chasing probes around, but this is why it's important to be vigilant. A major lead in the early game. It doesn't always just see you sailing to victory straight after, and Mana doing everything else right and really eking out every probe kill he can. Is going to ensure that his follow-up here is still going to keep him in a very, very good, comfortable place. As the Phoenix going to lift up a couple of Stalkers. The Stalkers going down, a couple more Phoenix going back the other way. GG's. Mana is going to take game number 1 of this best of 5. And we are going to get ready for game 2. Alright, Mana, pretty convincing opening game, guys. Not much else to say there. This Mana storms off to a lead. Alright, second map coming up. Alright, ready in to play as we get Mana and Night Phoenix loading us into this next game. A couple of seconds. Let's see what happens. Again, hope everyone's doing well today. Let's jump into Talkie Mac and get it going on. In the top right-hand side, we're going to start out with the red Protoss player representing Team Liquid. We are going to have Mana. Drops the HF. Kick us off into this one. As in the bottom left-hand side, our blue Protoss player is Night Phoenix. There's game 2 of a best of 5 here, mana up 1. And it is lower bracket, by the way, guys. So again, the way this tournament worked is that you've got the winner bracket, which is made up of the top 4 players from the group stage, from the Swiss group. So those 4 players start in the winner bracket. Meanwhile, everyone else that made it to the playoffs, the other 8, start in the lower bracket. So this is really do or die, which is why the group stage was so important, because you know, in the group stage, you were really fighting for the chance to have additional lives and additional chances already. More so than just, you make it to playoffs and whatever, like second place will do. No, you really, top 4 really was the best place to qualify through in. Obviously, this is going to be a best of 5 to straight up knock one of these guys out of the tournament. And even though Mana comes in as, I believe, the top seed out of everyone that did not make winner bracket, he's still also just a map away, or a series away, sorry, not a map away, but a series away from not being in the second round, right? So, again, it's a cutthroat playoff bracket, something a little bit different. Again, one of our main goals of the tournaments this year is to try and keep it mixed up and keep things going a little bit differently from tournament to tournament, try and give each event a little bit of a fresh feel to it and a different format. I've really loved this one, though, and I know a lot of the European players have really enjoyed this as well, so that's been great to see. I was kind of wondering if we had a chance to maybe... I was kind of wondering if there was a chance or a way to maybe make something a bit more like long-term in Europe, where players can consistently play the same kind of... You know what I mean? Like, where players can kind of come in and play on a regular basis, even the guys that aren't necessarily kind of at the top of the top. I feel like this, like, it's kind of like a DreamHack emulation event, right? Like a European regional emulation, but I feel like it'd be cool to be able to do this more often. But I don't know how to, I don't know what to shift or change or how to approach it to make it achievable on a more regular basis, I suppose. So, gotta figure that out. Proby. Moving around, a couple of adepts will be on the way. As the Zealot will go swiping. Sentry in the warp gate on the way through. A couple of adepts in the warp gate on the way out as well. We'll just be seeing a couple of pylons continue to build for now. Let's just see the pylon going down, the sentry popping out, and we will just have ourselves the Nexus, Probe, Sentry, warp gate, all continuing through for the moment. Adepts is going to shade on by. Robo Facility Nexus going to be coming up. A couple of batteries on the way. The probe going to get chased the other side. Good force field blocks the adept in a little bit. Now we go chasing around the other direction if at all possible. Gonna see a couple sentries gonna fight. The adepts get chased away. Immortal sentry continue to come up for the moment. Big aggression from Night Phoenix, really trying to break through. He obviously has that proxy at the front, so it's important to get something done, but Immortal's going to be popping soon from mana. I'm not sure Night Phoenix really has the power to get through. He has broken through the shield, or the energy of the first battery, but the second battery finishing. The Immortal's going to be so powerful in this scenario. Love the force field, stop those dogs from kiting out of there, so you're going to guarantee those kills with the Immortal, and that is going to be everything cleaned up inside of those force fields, and now everything on the other side should not be a huge factor. Immortal, Probe continue to come up with a couple of depths going to shade through. Immortal is going to take a few shots. The Adept's going to be there, firing back the other side. Sentry gets kept back as well. A couple of those Adepts in the storm are still taking damage. The Immortal gets there as well, gets one more shot off. This is not looking good for Night Phoenix, who, is going to agree with us. He is also going to feel like it's not looking good. He's going to tap the hell out. I'm going to escape from there for the moment. Alright, next game in a couple of mementos, guys. Kind of steamrolling through the first couple of matches here as our opening playoff matches. Pretty one-sided so far. Mana this, mana that, mana everywhere. Mana really popping off a little bit, so Having a good time of it. I'm going to jump into Persephone as mana leads 2-0. Is this going to be one of those speedy days where we just speed through every match? I really hope not. I mean, this tournament's been a lot of fun. I feel like we deserve a really fun playoff weekend. So, that of course said, we do obviously have games tomorrow. We do have games Sunday as well. So it's just day one. I guess we'll see how it all pans out. In the bottom left-hand side, we are going to have ourselves the red Protoss player who is up 2-0 in this best of 5. It is Mana, and he is looking for the clean sweep for an easy run through to the top 8 of the competition. He would be playing the winner of Yakov and ByuN later today for a spot in the top 6. Here in the European League 2025 Mana, a former a player who in the past has had great success in the WardiTV European League, actually, if you go back through the ages, one could say. The European League is an event which Mana has had, honestly, a reasonable amount of success in. I'm trying to think if he won one or he got second place to Clem in a very close series, but for some reason I can't find the link easily. Oh yeah, Wikipedia let me down. And everything is loading slowly today as well, apparently. When was it? It was one of the original European leagues. I think it was way back in like 2019. This is a really old event of WardiTV's. 2019, Mana was the first ever WardiTV European League champion with a 3-2 upper bracket win over Clem, and then a grand final 4-1 victory over Clem. How about that for a little stat for you? Mana, the original, the OG European League champion. You have a European League in 2020? Then 2020, Mana did not make it very far. I feel like he had another good run in this event once. But now I'm trying to figure out when that might have been. 2021, let's have a peek. I'm just going to have a peek at all of them, guys. Give you guys some history while this PvP Game 3 sets up. 2021, Mana was not in the bracket. Maybe it was really just that original year. I just really have this image in my head of Mana being a a super competitive guy in the European League, and maybe it was just that one time, which, you know, fair enough. Yeah. Even playing this one, which I find kind of surprising. Well, yeah, I'm just crazy, guys. I really thought Mana had a second good run in a European League, but it was just that first one he won 6 years ago, which is pretty crazy in and of its own regard. Yeah, it's cool to see Mana out here and still kicking butt and showing us some games. Always fun to see. Yeah, Mana, making some things happen here today, as we just have a couple of depths, Warp Gate on the way through, centering the Warp Gate coming up. Nexus battery coming online, Robo Facility gonna get started in the main base. What's up, Kaio Kankam? How you doing? Thank you so much for the 29-month resub, as that is gonna be Night Phoenix throwing down the proxy to get aggressive here in this game 3. As this series is not on his way, he's been the aggressor every game. To be fair, Mana also proxy Stargate in game 1. But there's definitely been aggressive intentions every game out of Night Phoenix. And he's looking to keep that up here now. Stalkers get some good damage off onto a battery. Gonna drop another battery onto the low ground here. Mana really just prepping the defense, realizing that this is going to be important for him to not take damage if at all possible. His own Robo finishing up shortly. He's only on that one gate as well, so of course he doesn't have that much unit production, which is why he's going to want to be super cautious with the units that he does have, hence all the batteries, hence the preparation to prepare those for a bit of defense. It'd be really nice if Night Phoenix could get rid of that first battery. It is super low, and the Adepts get into the main base. Opportunity opening for Night Phoenix now. Kills one probe only so far, but definitely more to be grabbed. Gets a second. Force Field was good to buy some time. But these Adepts are very healthy still. They're still on their shields. They're going to try and shade out. They're just going to come to the low ground. We're going to take this fight a little bit. I mean, the battery did go down, but now everything is force fielded in. Night Phoenix has not had new units show up for a hot second. He's going to lose 4 out of 4 units. Wow. 2 Adepts, 2 Stalkers, all dead. Do not get me wrong, the initial dive in the main was great, but the follow-up defense from Mana was really good, and killing off everything is amazing. Yeah, you got that battery, but was that worth the 2 Stalkers? The 2 Adepts probably go down whatever, that's fine. But losing the 2 Stalkers just to get that battery, that obviously I do not think is necessarily all that part of a play. So I think that's a little bit concerning as the Robo facility begins to crank out a disruptor already. So that disruptor is on the way through. Bring that straight into play. Prism, probes in production as well. Hallucination going to check out the front. Stalker's going to be there to put some work onto that hallucination. Obviously, I mean, Night Phoenix wants to try and find the chance to move in here. That disruptor is going to become very important for him. It's probably just going to straight up be his lifeline, to be honest. There's a couple of adepts will attempt to shade, but will not find anything just yet. Stalker's going to grab that hallucination, taking that down. The Prism pulling back toward the main base. Shot landing just about right there. The adepts threatening the concept of a shade through once more. Again, everything else still gathering up and together. The rest of the adepts come through. Oh, the disruptor dies. I mean, Mana stepping forward has the confidence a little bit because of the prism. Obviously, just getting rid of the disruptor is huge because now you don't have that thing flying at you every few seconds of your game, and that's such an annoyance as well because you really do want to keep an eye on what it's doing, what it can achieve, etc., etc. Just gonna be seeing the prism loading up, and Night Phoenix gonna have to try and just do something different. Right now, this game is really just not working out for him. Plain and simple, this is just not going his way at all. So things not looking great for you here. As Night Phoenix, he's down 0-2, and this third game is not doing what he wants it to. He's a one-base Protoss against a two-base player. These Immortals are putting some work in, but the Phoenix is going to put an end to this. That's going to say nuh-uh to being able to stick around and continue to try and do more and more and more. So that really should just be the kind of the end of the drop, and that was, like I say, one of the only things that I really felt was like going somewhat decently, at least for Night Phoenix. So without that, the rest of this really does start to seem like a bit more of a struggle again. Got a new disruptor, which obviously we like. Like, don't get me wrong, Mana's not going quickly to kind of shut down this attack or anything, but like, he doesn't need to go quickly either. Man has got some time where he can sit back, chill out, and just let things settle in for a few moments. Immortals firing again, another disruptor, trying to find that connection. You know what? Yeah, I think as long as there's disruptors, I will always have a little bit of hope that Night Phoenix can find a shot to give him an opportunity in this game. There's a good amount of adepts. Obviously, the Phoenix are good against the disruptors too. Mana has one Immortal high ground that's not being brought to the low ground. And there's 3 Immortals in the low ground. Putting in work though. Love the lift up again, making sure the most expensive units are not going to be exposed. There's that Immortal freed, and that's just going to give you so much more firepower out here on the low ground. And again, Mana is looking absolutely golden in this opening series of the playoffs, setting the tone a little bit. Saying, hey, look, I'm absolutely one of the guys that was meant to be in these playoffs, Night Phoenix. You're one of those guys that slipped in here last second. Let me show you how it's going to be, as Night Phoenix is obviously in a world of trouble right now. Another disruptor shot. That's actually a good one. Nice last second pickup on that one Immortal. Was actually very necessary. I think the other one might have died even. Yeah, what's up, Sipchip? Thank you so much for the 46-month resub as well. Another disruptor shot again. That's the only problem Mana has. You can't engage into this because the disruptors are threatening. And to be fair, Night Phoenix has a good amount of units as well. So there is definitely that to consider as Mana frees himself from a supply block and could really do with maybe even just some more supporting gateway units at this point. May not be a bad thing. Be a reasonable approach. Another disruptor shot firing, not quite going to land. The Prism warping in a Stalker. Another disruptor shot coming back over. Immortal and the Phoenix coming through. Gateway coming up. Disruptor shot again, going to land toward the Immortals. Mana does pick up a couple, but does eat that disruptor shot a little bit. That's the problem for Mana, is the disruptors do make it difficult for him to attack in. At the same time, he's not in a mega rush because obviously he's got the base advantage. There isn't a base up from Night Phoenix, but Mana's still up 12 workers. Night Phoenix ended up taking the 3rd base location, so like I said, I don't think Mana needs to be like engaging in right this second, and this must kind of go his way right now. But of course, every time that disruptor shots fly forward, it does feel like ever a little bit closer to a chance or an opportunity to make this game kind of scary. There you go. That disruptor shot does exactly that. Shields go down. Oh, God. Oh, he kills both of them. Both disruptors go down in the front there. Mana with the daring maneuver says, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just run at it and make it happen. Well done. A couple more warp-ins coming through now. goes down. Just gonna see the Disruptor gets lifted up again. A couple of more getting lifted. Night Phoenix just says GG. The Phoenix have gotten out of hand. GG. Mana takes the 3-0, advancing through to the second round of our lower bracket. Top 8 of the tournament guaranteed. Of course, there is prize money won for every series that you win in these playoffs. That's a plus $50 scenario for Mana right off the bat. And he'll be playing again in a little bit. He'll be taking on the winner of ByuN and young Yakov, who are going to be playing next. We're a little bit ahead of schedule. So let me ping Yakov. I see ByuN here. Let me ping Yakov and see if he's around. Try and get us started ASAP on this one. And try and get some things underway. Oh, he's here. Perfect, we'll get ByuN and Yakov videoing up, guys, and we'll be able to get this underway. So just a few moments, and some TVZ will be upon us, as that really was a bit of a boppity-bop to start the day off. Mana advancing over Night Phoenix. Night Phoenix did not have a bad run to get here either. 0-2 ByuN, 2-1 Art, 0-2 Jumi, 2-0 Percival, and 2-1 Christiana. It was actually a pretty decent run, but really did not have it in this playoff matchup at all, unfortunately. Not have it in the playoff matchup. So we say goodbye to Night Phoenix. Again, says walk away with some prize money. I believe $110 for Night Phoenix, $50 for making playoffs, $60 for winning 3 matches, getting to the playoffs. So yeah, very cool. What's up, the Marty Monty? How you doing? Thank you so much for the 65-month resub. Appreciate it. Big one coming in. Beautiful. Love that. Thank you so much. Incorporeal, Last Fantasy, Maganatha, and Pylon will be our 4 vetoed maps. We'll get our first map pick here in the next few moments. So again, the winner of this will play against Mana. We'll go straight into that after this as well. The idea being we go match 1, match 2. These two, these 4 guys have already been here. Let's play their winner bracket match, or their next winners match straight away. And then we'll drop down in Showtime Nikoract later on, and then also HARSTEM versus Art. We'll see how, like I say, how the day goes for us. See what the day brings us. Getting ready to set up into Ultra Love. So Francisco, thank you so much for the 16-month resub on the Prime. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Just gonna move everyone about, and we'll get ready to go. More map picks coming in. Tokmak, Torches, Persephone, and the 5th map should be... I've got no idea what the 5th map is. Ley Lines, I think. No, Ley Lines is vetoed. Oh no, ByuN tried to veto Ley Lines, but it was a 3rd veto. Alright, perfect. In that case, we can go. Kick off into a TVZ here in the European League 2025. Terran versus Zerg. ByuN versus Yakov. Yakov is our only Zerg player in the playoffs. Obviously, we did not have the strongest of Zerg lineups when it came to this event. Zerg is a very kind of low quantity wave race in 2025. And that on top of the fact that a lot of the top Zergs are just prepping for EWC and so on, kind of has just led us here. So, yeah. Alright, let's get ready to go. As we kick off into... game number 1. In the top right-hand corner of the map, we're going to start things off with the red Terran player. This is going to be ByuN. Up against the blue Zerg. In the bottom left corner of the map, we've got Yakov. hopefully this time after EWC, a lot of the Zergs keep playing as well. All the Zergs last year basically took a break as well, which obviously makes sense as well considering the situation, but man, we Zerg really has been a difficulty for us in general lately, so yeah, crazy things. Alright, bottom left is Yakov, our blue Zerg player, top right is ByuN, our red Terran, and he's gonna go multiple racks. Of course, this is the European League, so ByuN is the only non-Europeans who have made the playoffs. TLDR is that this year the European League is not region locked, so anyone can actually take part, but you do play on the European server, right? So yes, you do play on the European server, you do play with that ping disadvantage, basically, is what ByuN has to put up with here. And obviously, the time zone is not great for ByuN either. This is about 1 a.m. or so, 1:30 a.m. at night for him right now, so the match times are also not kind of, you know, preferential for playing either from the Korean side of point of view, so that's the disadvantage they have. You know, it's home turf advantage for the Europeans, basically. That's the point of this tournament. But if top-end Koreans want to take part and challenge themselves to play on those conditions, I'm all for it because, you know, to me, that adds some drama. It adds players that are nice to have. ByuN's clearly good enough to make playoffs already. I don't think it's a bad thing for the lower kind of the not top of the top EU seem to be playing against some of the better Koreans, but with that advantage either. I think that's kind of a fun way to look at it a lot of times. So yeah, definitely, it's a little bit of a different vibe. Like I say, the whole thing is meant to be a bit of a different vibe as well. So links be coming up. Queen's on the way. Overlord moving about as we get going. Feelings is going to drop down onto the rocks. A couple of Reapers will continue to come through. Reapers turning around. Hatch coming online. Again, drones, link speed. The Overlord continue to come online. We've seen the Rings trying to go after these Reapers. Reapers actually going to get a Queen kill, which is very impressive considering European server. ByuN is just going to be playing the 2 Reapers, so 2 Reapers straight into Marines. I imagine ByuN does not want a lot of this game, or a lot of this matchup to go kind of into super high-pitched kind of micro wars. But ByuN, I gotta imagine that he really wants this to instead be a yeah, I imagine ByuN really wants this to be kind of very timing focused, like, hey, kind of show up with more stuff than you're ready to deal with. You know, some funky builds to kind of do that for him as well, I imagine, is going to be a lot of the idea. Drones is going onto that third base. Healing's coming about. Stimpack is on the way through. He's gonna have that Bane Nest on the way. A few drones on the way through. Queen producing. Obviously, that Bane Nest is not ready yet. And these Marines are gonna have Stim and combat shields. So this initial timing from ByuN already, honestly, looks a little scary. Question is, does he have the confidence to go across the map with it, right? Stim and combat shield Marines feel nice, but it's not always going to mean that they're definitely going to be great. Not sure what the plan was there. There's now 19 Lings dead in this game. For Yakov. I don't know what he was trying to gain there either. Like, there's clearly a decent amount of Marines, and maybe you get a couple of them, but then, especially when the other Marines show up, surely at that point it's evacuation time, although apparently not, as this creep tumor will go down as well. Marines continue to move around, taking a couple of moments. Not going to actually pressure in. Starport on the way up. ByuN just going to back it up for the moment instead, falling back for now. And just taking a couple of seconds. Last time, Queen's Overlords on the way up. Marines head down to the bottom left-hand side. One more Zergling gets grabbed as well here. Is just going to be able to grab that as the Marines join together. Right now they're getting that Queen. A little bit of the Ling Bane going to come running across. A couple of Marines in the front. And they get jumped on as well. The Ling's looking to try and get a wraparound. They are going to get a wraparound. They are going to clean up. And ByuN, questionable as to why you're still on the map, essentially, right? At the end of the day, I think this is a scenario which is, it's fair enough to be out on the map in that scenario initially. But when you decide not to commit to your initial timing, I think it's time to just get the hell away. No, you're giving your opponent so much more time to build units, to prep a response to this, and then eventually they get that catch, and you're just left there thinking, well, ByuN, what were we gaining by still being on the map, right? I think that is genuinely a very good question right there. Yo, what's up, Basket? Thank you so much. 35-month resub on the Prime. Marines coming through, getting a Zergling as they go. A couple Marines will peel away to that right side. Baneless speed still coming up. Ling Bane on the way. Spore, Hatch, Extractor, and Creep Tumors. Everything building for now. Might be able to get this hatchery. Bane speed not ready yet. There's a lot of Lings nearby though, and obviously ByuN wants to be careful. At this point, ByuN can't really risk losing too many units, but this was a very good trade. He gets a lot of Zerglings here, so a lot of value off these Marines initially. We'll come back through and step nicely back once again. This time might want to run a little further just to create some distance between himself and the Banes. But he's starting to kill off Banelings, man. These Marines are low HP, but they're going to come back through. Hatchery can eat transfusions now. There's a lot of Queens here. They should never go on any further, surely. He finally lift up his ByuN. 16 Marines still alive into those medevacs. Drops the main base, but sees the Spore Crawlers. Decides to unload over here instead and get the Overlord. But ByuN just got so much value out of this drop. After that earlier cleanup, it was feeling pretty rough for him, but this drop got so much of the game back in his favor. Suddenly, I'm gonna say I love it for ByuN, but I like it a lot more than I liked it a minute ago. He is getting ready as well to follow up into that third CC. That's the one thing he's not moved out for just yet. Doesn't have a lot of units to really protect the third base with, so is not going to go too quickly or too soon here, essentially. As those Marines show up on the left-hand side, Queen's taking damage. A little bit of Ling Bane will continue over as well. Marines continue to just run backwards. The Zergling's still chasing, trying to get on top as best they can. Again, 22 additional Zerglings coming about. The Burrow coming through. The melee and carapace upgrades going to be done very shortly as well. Ling Bane trying to catch some of those Marines. We are going to be forced further back. Siege Tank just holding its ground right there and actually able to get some damage done without being sieged. ByuN's continue to trade very well. The one single attack upgrade helping him out. Now about to have an armor upgrade too. The 1-1 upgrades from his opponent on the way, but not ready yet. So ByuN can continue to find some beneficial trades to himself. Again, has been very impressive so far in that regard. We're going to step up, just going to see a couple of Queens. We'll get jumped on. Marine's going to fight back, go after the Zerglings. So we do have a couple of changelings going to get popped as well, so they will also go down. Okay, more Banelings morphing in through them, burrowed up at the front like that from Yakov. It's the kind of thing which, if it works, it can do very well, and if it doesn't work, it's probably very little lost anyway, right? Obviously, yes, you they get the burrow upgrade, but burrow has more uses than just kind of burrowing a Bane here or there as well. Here we go. Lings are going to launch themselves up that right-hand side, looking to reach this marine line. ByuN is going to have to run back out of here. Still holds the supply lead, though, and I believe just has some reinforcements showing up soon as well. And he's got the tank behind this kind of bridge, so it's very difficult for Yakov to come across and run into ByuN in that scenario. Yakov just hanging on to 66 drones and just pumping units, so he's pumping units off of what could be, honestly, a stronger economy. And if he was able to have a stronger economy, that would be absolutely huge for him. Those Banelings, kaboom! Goodbye, Marines. ByuN's scan was out of reach. He scanned too far forward. The Banelings in the front connect, and ByuN gets eaten alive. The burrowed Banes reset the supply advantage into the favor of the Zerg, and we have got Yakov up in the supply lead now after what was looking to be a pretty daring scenario. A couple of Banelings coming in toward the Marines, trying to see what they can do. Rest of this Marine tank just coming over. Medevac escapes out of there. Marines will take a little bit more healing right now. The Ling's going to try and run up as well. Siege tank will set up once more. This is scary because now you've got enough Hydras to actually maybe close the distance on the tanks. He backed away from it. I feel like by backing away, he's gotten himself choked up on the ramp. I actually think he could have continued through there as Yakov. There we go. He's going to break through into it in the end. As ByuN is standing his ground with the last 3 Marines. Yakov does not really want to chase too much. It's going to turn into a bit of a back and forth game, huh? And we're going to see a little bit more violence continue to break through here. A few Hydras collect down to the bottom side. Infestation pit begins to build up. Currently halfway done. 2-2 upgrades on the way as well. So bringing those melee and carapace upgrades online. It is upgrade advantage currently to ByuN though. And of course he's going to scan ahead. Every step he takes right now, I imagine, there's not going to be any ground unscanned. Because he wants to ensure that he's not going to walk on the burrowed banes. He's not going to let the same thing happen twice. Yakov, though, with a lot more confidence now to kind of come diving in ahead of time. It's not working, though. The lack of creep is causing a lot of these banes to get melted. And now the Hydras in a little bit of the splash damage, eating shots from the tank up top. A Widowmine here or there as well. And the Hydras had to back it up in a way, which now means that ByuN pushing into this position is actually going to start doing a lot. And this is just going to overwhelm these Hydras. Remember, the Hydras are also unupgraded in terms of attack upgrades. So they do have the carapace, but they don't have any missiles. So when only Hydras in this army, the damage output onto the Marines is not super high, which gives the Marines a much better chance of just standing their ground and making this happen. Marines just keep pushing forward. If there's never a chance for Yakov to make banelings here, he might just not ever have a chance in this game again. Like I say, the Hydras are not pushing the DPS that's needed. The Lings getting cleaned up fairly quickly. It looks like we are going to force this back. We are going to buy ourselves some time to stay in this game as Yakov, but ByuN is going to be in a commanding position. However, Lurk is on the way. So we are going to see the next wave of this game coming in from Yakov, which is going to be in the form of the Lurkers. We get those up and online. And with Lurkers popping out, like I say, this game takes a step to a new level where it's going to be another challenge for ByuN. He's going to have that to try and work through. Counter up the top, a few Zerglings trying to put some work in as the Bio tries to hold its ground as best as possible as well. A couple of Lings in this mineral line. Nice run by from Yakov, getting some serious work done. He's supply blocked a little bit as he's losing Overlords. He's just having trouble keeping anything alive. The Lurkers are going to get scanned, and ByuN, he was kind of wrapping around them, but he lost his army to the top. He's going to make the Lurkers keep chasing into him. He can obviously turn and jump on the Lurkers when they burrow as well. Get a couple kills or one kill even, just knock that number down. He's killing as many drones as he lost to the run-by. The run-by has now, I think, mostly been cleaned up, so not much else to gain there. These Marines are super low HP. The Medevacs are kind of low on energy, so there's not a lot of healing to be done. But ByuN wants this hatchery. He will get this hatchery, and he will be able to lift up and get out without the Lurkers chasing him further. In the end, Yakov is the one to say GG. He has no rebuild potential. Supply is down, and ByuN just about scrapes out of Game 1 with an advantage in this series. So ByuN just about getting the 1-0 lead. Start us off in this series in Game 2 coming up in a few moments' time. What's up, Oat Boy? Thank you so much for the 46-month resub. Welcome back. Appreciate it. Thank you. As we are going to ready ourselves in for Game 2 of this best of 5. Tokamak going to be our map. But I was hosting this one. It's all good. Host this up and get ready for this next round as ByuN does take the lead. And our only Zerg of the competition goes down a game in this elimination matchup. Yakov had a pretty solid group stage performance as well. 0-2 Shameless, but then bounced back 2-0 Geralt, 2 on Christiana, 2-0 Jumi. Losing to Maxfax in the final round, no shame in that one. And ByuN, he started strong. 2-0 Night Phoenix, 2-0 Jumi. Lost to Hero Marine, but did bring it back against Thermal. And lost to Shameless. Got kind of stomped the other day playing against Shameless. Did not really bring it so much there. Let's see if, like I said, I mean, so far feels like he's bringing it today here on the European server for the TVZ. See if he can keep it up. I mean, it would have been a more convincing game as well if it wasn't for those burrowed banelings. They were absolutely brutal and really gave Yakov an opening and a chance once more, so Things to think on, things to see as we head into game number 2. In the top right-hand side, the blue Terran player is going to be from the Shopify Rebellion. We have ByuN. Bottom left, our red Zerg player, we have ourselves young Yakov. Barracks, and guess what? It's going to be another barracks as ByuN brings the aggression here in this game too. Going to go full proxy mode. Going to be seeing this Overlord is on the way over to get a little bit of a scout in on this, so it's going to be able to see a little bit of what's up next couple moments. Let's bring that straight over, Overlord. So the single rack, so you get a bit of info, but not all the info. You know it's a proxy. You do not know it's 3 racks just yet. And we're going to come stepping forward as the drones are pulled, so I don't like this at all. Pulling drones against the 3 racks I don't think does anything for you here. It's just giving it mining time that you could really utilize. Right? That's 4 drones that have done absolutely nothing. If this is 2 racks, maybe 3 racks. Yeah, I don't love it. It was way too late to pull them anyway. Bunker starting up. We are going to have to make a bust from this soon because we do not want to let the bunker go up and have that be something we have to deal with here. See those Marines microing back and forth. This is quite a micro-intensive build from ByuN. So, gonna have to get the micro going here on the European server, out from Korea. Marines are gonna take a turn, go up to the top side. It's actually getting a very good fight for ByuN so far. Tucks himself in the corner. 6 drones killed. He will try and get his way through some of the lings. Good denial on the bunker last second. Marines survive in the corner, mind you, and that SCV is actually very important because if that SCV can just tickle the bunker, so the Queen target fire is good. Bunker will have to be cancelled. You can see ByuN believed in it for just a second that he might be able to get that up and online and get something done with it. Not quite the case in the end, as Marines will get rid of this Overlord. ByuN did a lot of work here, but he is down in expansion, right? He only just expanded now, and that's going to give your opponent time to drone up and re-secure themselves on 2 bases, while you are going to take a time to get yourself set up on the 2 bases as well. So ByuN did a lot, he put a lot of work in, but I'm not sure if he's really in. I'm not sure if ByuN's really looking at this and kind of feeling. Like I say, it was good, but like it does feel as though because the game sells so much right now, what's really the next step? I guess link speed's a while away from Yakov, so it might be a time before you can get his 3rd base down, and maybe that's the real advantage ByuN can glean from this situation now. Yakov is still behind on workers too, so I guess that damage done is really lasting for a significant period. The Billings, let's just run forward and fight the Marines, which didn't micro for a few moments. They get one final kill before going down. And a few more drones on the way. It should just be nothing but drones here from Yakov. We'll have link speed soon to take a little bit of map control with the links that he does have. But yeah, the focus here should be getting that economy up and running. ByuN is going to do the same thing. Triple command center back at home. And as barracks make it back, they can start to add add-ons and make this next stage of the game a little bit more fluidly transitioned into. See what the next stage of the game is going to be as well. Right now, just one factory on the way. Obviously, the barracks are back at home. Going to crank a couple more Marines out, and then it looks as though we're getting the reactor already. We'll probably see Tech Lab afterwards and just go Stim Combat Shield. Wondering then what the factory does. The factory could go to the reactor and make Hellions if you feel as though you're concerned about the lings. These Marines just going to have to pop out and help out. There's going to be factory to the reactor. So factory to the reactor, double Tech Lab. Oh, no, sorry, double reactor on the 2 barracks and then a tech lab on the 3rd that just moved off the reactor. So you're going to see those barracks finally getting into add-on production. Again, you've got the Hellions on the way now. They should keep you very safe while the add-ons come online and the units begin to pour from those add-ons a minute or so down the line from now. So Hellions will really, again, be the the big kind of hand holders to help you get to that point and be able to get there comfortably. Couple Hellions just going to head down to the bottom left. Lings and Queens joining together. Nest will drop down. Again, we have the extra drones and Queens continue to build up. The Spankroll will step to the front as well. A few Queens stepping off over to the side. Continue to get a lot of this underway for the moment. We'll drop down and head across. Just have the medevacs on the way up as well. ByuN scan adventures with a few Marines already, looking for the chance to get rid of a couple of the... well, an Overlord here, an Overlord there. And one upgrade's coming about. I see the stim pack coming through. I'm just going to see the medevac is going to come about. The SCV is coming through as well. We'll just burrow up. A few Marines are going to go stepping forward in toward that hatchery. Hatchery in some trouble. Hatchery going down. It's a cancel. So fourth base of Yakov not allowed just yet. And ByuN, I don't like that pickoff, right? It's free. It's simple. It's not too complicated to get, to make this pickup. It's damage like that that's going to add up a little bit, and just keep on giving him some edges as we continue through. Let's try to get a wrap around. The Bane's trying to catch up as well, trying to get a little bit of a surround there. Again, the extra drones continue to produce through as well. Just going to be seeing the Carapace upgrade coming about. Those Marines are going to be able to grab the Overlord. Overlord will fall. An Infestation Pit, Evolution Chamber. Continue to come about. The Ling is just going to go and jump onto a mule. Second mule going down as well. Okay, nice little run by. 2 mules going down. Talk about reducing some of the economy there. Nice hit from Yakov. Very nicely done. Have ourselves the couple of extra setups coming through, a couple more moments dropping down and by. Cool, droppers in the main base, just Marines and a Hellion. It's going to get a few drones. It forces units into position in the main as well, which maybe opens the door elsewhere for damage. I feel like that's exactly what we're looking for here. Diving through, but the Queens on transfusion duty. Do buy themselves a lot of time. Oh, ByuN not paying attention there as well. The medevac dives back in. Oh my god, we'll get an unload, but the Queen is there. Medevac goes down. Only 2 Marines are able to get out. And melee and Carapace coming up. The 2-2 upgrades coming about. Drilling claws as well on the way. 7 additional Marines will be in production. As those Marines come about, the medevac's just going to be there. He's going to see the tank going to shoot. The Queen's going to take some damage as well. Seeing those Banes trying to get some work done. Nice little split apart, though. The Marines able to just back away from there for the moment. Just not enough job of it. The Marines still stepping forward. Going to be seeing a couple of those Hydras going down. In the end, ByuN doesn't have enough to keep this going, but that would be enough for now. Marines going to get there. A couple creep teamers coming through again. And Queen's going to be there. Marines go the other direction. Siege tank setting up as well. It's a lot of burrow coming through. The size spines, the groove spines coming up at the moment. Marines going to jump onto the hatchery. Going to go for this 5th base. Blings on the counter attack. Nice. Wouldn't mind just going to soften them up. And honestly, the Marines are in position. ByuN is controlling this game very nicely. I'm not going to lie. Just little attacks here and there. Now, obviously, Yakov at this point mostly is just concerned with getting up to lurkers. And if you can get to lurkers, there's always going to be that little bit of potential, that little bit of opportunity. Seismic Spines is about halfway done at the moment. +1 missiles is halfway done too. So those upgrades are coming in. Again, just low HP medevac just about skating out of there for the moment. Will not be able to drop on top of this because the units underneath, though. The tank is over here. That's where ByuN is going to reinforce too. And another group of units already moving out from his base. Like we say though, lurkers are coming into play, and that will be Yakov's road to kind of success here. If he can stay in this game and get those lurkers to take a couple sets of good trades, then there is always going to be some opportunity in these scenarios. If that tank man's putting in work, it's going to hit the Queens a little bit. Queens are going to try and take the tank down, but they can't reach the tank, right? So, not going very well. Wouldn't mind here, going to split away from. Nice little job for Yakov, who's busy elsewhere on the map while ByuN is trying to poke in from the other side. Here are those lurkers, and wonder if ByuN is thinking about just tacking up into the ghosts and just simplifying this lurker problem. The only problem with that is that then you're obviously playing a bit of a later kind of, you know, basically you're kind of saying my pressure now is up, I'm going to come back again later. That might give Yakov a bit of breathing room in a game where you've not really given him breathing room, and you might want to just kind of choke him out of this game quickly while you've already got his head in a lock, right? Because he's in a tough position right now. But the lurkers do ease that hold a little, and maybe give him the chance that maybe then ByuN has to respect it. I like the run by. The concept of this is always good. ByuN had a few units back at home, but they are going to end up falling, so ByuN will need a little more to deal with it. He's actually stemming a lot of his army back, so he will have a lot of units back in the next couple of moments. And that will be a cleanup. We'll only have to scan for the last group of Zerglings here. He does notice them, so we'll be able to scan, clean up, one more burrow. Okay, there's one Zergling going to be an annoyance, but that's about it at the moment, so... That said, though, it buys you time, and that's what it's all about now is Yakov. ByuN's maxed out. He doesn't want to be at home. He doesn't want to be sitting around. He wants to be pushing, making use of this window that he created for himself. There's a couple of Wooden Mines left behind, do some good work. Yeah, ByuN wants to really kind of get out there and get some work done, whereas Yakov is forcing him to kind of sit back instead, which gives him the chance to actually get maxed out now. By still coming through. Those lurkers, though, are definitely going to be an issue, and ByuN is just going to have to lift up and get out of there. So ByuN backs it up. A couple libs on the way. Definitely have to look towards the later game. However, because the later game's not ready to go yet, you can see that ByuN might have some problems here because Yakov's going to make his way across the map. Those 4 libs that are coming out, boy, they cannot arrive soon enough. He's already got 2, but he needs more. He needs to shut down these lurks. He needs to stop this advance. He needs to hold position. There's a counterattack from ByuN on the other side, but as the lurkers siege up defensively, this army will struggle to find much. Actually, probably could have gone down the far left side there, but he's obviously a little bit too preoccupied with the fact he's being attacked on the right-hand side. So ByuN under attack, not dealing with this situation super well just yet. A couple of those Liberator shots already powering through. The lurkers putting the work in. SCV is beginning to drop on down. I just get underneath the orbital command, will take some extra damage. They are the Liberators. I really do feel like they were meant to be one of the saving graces here, but man, they are not getting rid of units quickly enough. It's the Hydras. They are just chunking through the Liberators, and ByuN's supply is in the bin as he did not get it done while the lurkers weren't on the map. He was pressuring, he's trying to keep the momentum. Yakov stayed patient on 4 bases and just sat there and said, well, if I can just get to lurkers, maybe there's always a dream. And in this case, it's just because ByuN did not have any preparation for lurkers. You can see when the lurkers were coming across the map, libs were starting, fusion core was being added. This was all on the way, but none of it was ready yet, as ByuN's going to try a miraculous breakout here. As the lurkers are not protected by anything, that genuinely does give you a chance as ByuN to take these down. He's heavily stimmed, but he will get rid of every single lurker on the front lines. To the left side, though, now Lings and lurkers show up as well. The Planetary Fortress and the Liberator there begin to play cleanup, though, and ByuN might have saved the situation for now. He might actually get to play on. Does he have enough to retake the 3rd base with? I think so, honestly. He's got another CC on his left side, too, which if he lifts up, will stay safe. And now he's recognizing there's two lurkers over here he can get rid of as well. ByuN with the defense. He holds in the end. And just about, but hey, that's going to give him a chance still. Because remember, Yakov was only a 4-base Zerg. 5th base just finished. So it's not like Yakov's been booming on economy behind this. Like, he's been fine. But he's not being in a super good position because ByuN had a really good mid game. So now as we take a little bit of a step later into this game, there really is a chance here for both players to kind of continue to fight this out, and both of them having an opportunity to turn into a fun game too. ByuN leading the best of 5, 1-0 in the lower bracket round 1 of the WardiTV European League. What am I going to fire again? Onto the Hydras here. Good splash onto those Hydras. Only one lurker in range in the back right now, and ByuN, if he had a scan, probably would have chased those Hydras a little further. Just a tad. Just because that one single lurker is, on its own, really not that scary. ByuN going to drop off to the other side. Maybe able to set up surround with that. Because Yakov is still pressing forward. He's still looking to make things happen right here. And right now, as he approaches the front door of ByuN, what will ByuN do? He has the choice, obviously. Does he flank? Does he counterattack? He's going to hope the Liberators do some work this time around. Once more, the Hydras are making steps through already, though. Honestly, the Hydras are going to go down, and one Liberator at least survives. Bion on the other side, going to knock down a whole bunch more creep. These Zerglings on their own accord, not going to do much. There is a Fungal available. That would obviously be massive. A Fungal onto some of these units. They're low HP, but he's not going to be able to do much with it. And the Lurkers on the other side will get some kills, but ByuN just keeps stimming and going for all of the drones and all of the economy. And then he's going to tuck himself in the corner, probably kill the hatchery as well. Lurker on the other side gets cleaned up, and ByuN is going to be able to lift up and decide where he drops to next. Left side available for attack. Main base could have been attackable as well. Growth grabs to the medevacs. Do we get any cleanup? We're going to clean up just because ByuN's going to decide to unload. He does have Vipers chasing him, parasitic bombs, and abducts going down. Everything used here to play cleanup. I'm going to try and make a distance closing move here. You have a couple of those Liberators working their way through Lurkers. Honestly, the Liberator count has been getting better, and it's very noticeable because now these Liberators start to dominate the skies. The Hydra count doesn't stay strong enough. Yakov gets overrun a little bit, and it looks like ByuN is going to wrestle himself into a victorious position in this game too. This was not easy. He was in a lot of trouble a couple minutes ago, right? Like, he had a really good, don't get me wrong, ByuN had a really good first 10 minutes of this game. Minute 11 through 15 was a little bit rough, a little messy, a little nasty. Took a lot of damage throughout that. And now, he bounces it back, and he's looking as though he's going to get the win in the end anyway and go up to a 2-0 lead in this playoff best-of-5 elimination series. Liberators into the center. Bio units going to gather. So you see the bang bang. Parasitic bombs coming straight through. A couple of Queens just going to get jumped on as well. Just going to have those taken down once again. The Liberators continue to put some work in. The Hydra's taking damage. They're going to kite back over the left side. A couple of Hydras continue to drop. Yakov, GG's, and ByuN is going to take the 2-0 lead in the series. It's turned into a little bit of a banger of a TVZ because there's definitely moments, like I say, where it looked as though Yakov was turning around and ByuN just manages to hold on. Both these guys giving us some good moments as we'll head into Torches for Game 3. Fun map to potentially close the series out on as Yakov is down 0-2. And winner of this plays Mana in the next round. We saw that decided earlier already, so the winner of this plays Mana. Keeps the action rolling here. Both players to join our lobby. Oh, no, wrong person. Alright, game 2. Sorry, game 3 in a second. ByuN leading 2-0. And it is Torches to see if ByuN can close it out or if Yakov may begin to mount a comeback here in this best of 5, like I say, elimination matchup. Up right-hand side. A red Terran player is going to be ByuN, leading 2-0 here on Torches. Interesting map. ByuN has looked stronger overall. He keeps putting himself in good positions, and even when those slip away a little bit, he's brought the games back under control once more. So definitely feeling good for him, because even, like I said, when things get a little dicey, he's been able to grab it back and actually win some impressive fights and moments, and just having some good unit movement around, keeping that kind of life alive for him so far as well. Yakov in the bottom right side will be our blue Zergy. Proxy racks again. Do not forget ByuN in the last game had the same intentions. 3 racks proxy. Did very well as well, right? Can see those 3 racks coming up then. Again, hatch, gas, and pool all underway. We begin to get a lot of that coming through for the moment. All those barracks set up, getting ready to push. Lord is going to see there's a little bit of an advance forward, so time to try and figure out what the plan is going to be. Going down, the drones are going to pull forward. So see how drones continue to come about. We've seen the Lings and drones going to continue to just try and stop the bunker, most importantly. We lost a lot of drones last game. This kind of feels like a similar vibe right now. Bunker going down, maybe we can play a bit more defensively. Spinecrawler about to be ready. Queen here in a moment. Has to move the Spinecrawler forward though, because obviously the hatchery is in trouble otherwise. Chasing across. Ooh, ByuN stepped forward there when maybe he needed to step away. The Lings gonna go down though. I mean, do we have enough to keep chasing through the Queens? ByuN is still producing Marines this game, so they just finished them all now. I actually think he just cancelled them all. Yeah, he's just going to decide to pull back with those barracks and take them away. He's just going to pull those all the way back the other direction. So just seeing that barracks coming about again. Hatch gas pool coming about. A couple of refineries and the CC coming in as well. It's just going to keep that going. SCV continuing over. Queens going to step forward as well as we speak. Just going to drop a little bit of creep spread down. And a couple of barracks will continue by as well. Well, CC is coming about. Those Zerglings will be coming through. Obviously, this gets a little bit intriguing here as we take a few moments to see where exactly we are going to take things and what we are going to try and do with it. I mean, there's a good few Lings on the map. The CC is going to finish, though, I believe, in time to be okay against these Lings. So that's the good news. That low ground command center will not get punished here. Just now finished, so can lift if it needs to. Obviously, we'll probably just morph to an orbital first. The Marines do a good job of A, buying time, and B, just reducing the Ling count there. 24 Zerglings end up arriving on the other side. A Marine behind the wall-off is good. And we have our factory about to finish up. Very different follow-up, by the way. Last game we talked about, or the last time it was proxy racks, as we saw the reactor factory swapped onto it, then the other barracks built reactors. This game we're going to see already a tech lab up, so just straight into the stim pack. So ByuN playing a little bit of a different kind of next step of this. Meanwhile, Yakov will be, first of all, losing these Zerglings, does not get a Marine for it. And we'll be taking that right side third hatchery. So there is some of the damage that ByuN has done as well. Delaying that third base of the Zerg player for a significant period is obviously a big deal. Factory gives up the reactor and lets the starport go. That's just really not going into many Hellions at all this game. 2 Hellions. Factory going to go to the side. I imagine a tech lab. We start building tanks. Roaches are popular on this map as well, so we'll not be surprised at all if, like I say, we just build tanks early and just prep against that. Although we might not have the gas for it yet because we're readying to build 2 medevacs. And with those 2 medevacs, obviously getting ready to go across the map with the setup as well. We did not build additional Zerglings after losing them across the map, and that is going to mean trouble. 5 workers going down as the 2 Hellions dive through and they get some great damage done. Very nicely done. Team Engineering Base on the way up then from ByuN as he looks for his upgrades. Finishes 1 starts +1. Attack will be on the way to armor when the second finishes, I imagine, as Stim Pack completes as well. So the upgrades are looking good. Medevacs will be here soon. They'll be very ready to go in the next few moments. So 1-1 coming up, combat shield on the way, the additional SCVs, refineries, barracks, all building through as well. We have the roaches and the carapace, the roach speed coming about. Again, the extra roaches coming by for now as the additional drones and the overseer will build as well. A little bit of a shove from ByuN, but I can't imagine he's going to do too well against the roach ravager. And that's going to be the interesting part of this in general, is the roach ravager is going to be very powerful. And right now we're just building a lot of it. We are going to add some drones in, so it's not just going to be all out roach ravager and attacking. It's going to be a little bit of a different approach then. That roach run goes down. Oh, that's kind of nasty because it's just before roach speed finishes as well, which obviously is a little bit sad. 1-1 coming through, the combat shield coming online. Hydroden, roach run both building up. Infestation Bay coming online as well. Hatchery coming through. Carapace upgrade coming about. Drones also on the way in as you just see the healing shrine. Gonna bring the Marines back up to HP for a moment. Hydralis Den building as well. Also coming through as the infestation pit is halfway done currently. Roach is still joining up. Gonna get rid of a couple Marines right off the bat. Taking those down without issue. Infestation pit will finish very shortly. This roach is still heading across. Marine's going to be there, and the overseer taking damage. Hydra roach on the way through. Just gonna have the hive coming online. Marine's just gonna join back with everything else as well. So again, we take a second to step back the other way. Marine's unloading. Queen gonna be in some trouble. Well, obviously we're dropping right. Anytime you're playing against the roaches, dropping around makes the roaches move a lot. Yakov a little bit supply blocked, right? These are things that add up. And you get a good scout here. Look at Den and Hive spotted. So ByuN getting information as well, knowing where the attack of his opponent is at. And that might allow him to start attacking himself a little bit more kind of aptly in time to what his opponent's doing. Currently 3 additional barracks coming up from ByuN, which is a little crazy because that's kind of 8 racks territory in a game where, I mean, the 8 racks should be like, we should be 8 racks and striking already, not like building up to the 8 racks now, although these tanks will take a good position in this gold base, as the 4th of Yakov may be in some trouble. I mean, we are on the verge of building lurkers, and we are trying to just add on the additional racks as ByuN is. So that's got me being skeptical, let's say, say that at the least, but hey, we are going to deny the 4th base, you're going to make this a 3-base Zerg. Kind of a big deal. Tank's going to put some work in. Hatchery does survive for now as the Roach Hydra threatens. You don't want to be caught off guard here as ByuN. You don't want to have those tanks jumped on because he didn't send enough units over to the left. Putting himself in a very good position around that left-hand side. I guess my question really just is, did we need the 8 barracks? Like, I'm not seeing the need for that yet because all of this has been off of 5 barracks production. As the extra few barracks finishing now going to make the world a difference. He's adding tech labs, so we'll look to add marauders to this in general. As the Roach Hydra steps through, a lot of the units pulled back to deal with the counterattack, opening the door for the tanks to get cleaned out here, and that's going to be ByuN actually dropping a lot of supply behind right here, so we'll fall behind a little bit. Roach Rider Ravager coming through over the command. We'll just try and land down onto that 4th base as well. Again, for more Hydras coming up, the Seismic Spine's coming online. Marine Marauder tank continue to build. Two missiles, Seismic Spines, all of this continues to come into play currently. There's 3/3 upgrades coming about as well. Marine Marauder, Siege Tank just trying to pop out. I mean, can we keep this up? I mean, this game I feel like Yakov is going to get to these lurkers fairly comfortably now, and yeah, you lost your 4th base on the way here, but it's back on track. Are we still worried like we were? I don't feel like we should be. Marines get that, drone goes down, a couple more drones gonna come through, cancel on the hatchery, and the Hydras are going to try and step over as well. The Queen jumped on now also. It's an easy pick. ByuN doing what he does very well, which is just to be aggressive with a medevac or so and just find openings and create openings by threatening his opponent with those group of units. His units are going to create opportunities for the rest of his units. He's going to dive those lurkers, gets one before stepping back. The rest of the Roach Rider getting in front means you don't want to fight it. He only wants to fight those lurkers if he has a clear route into the lurkers to start shooting those down immediately. Otherwise, he doesn't really want to fight it, but he might not have a choice soon, because realistically, he doesn't have a lot of other tech coming up, so I'm not sure what ByuN's long-term plan really is. It was looking good here, but then all these other Hydras show up as well. He will go for the cleanup on the lurkers now. But gets that. ByuN taking the supply lead momentarily, but Yakov had a bunch of minerals to spend. Let's find this mineral line. I mean, again, it's not exactly been a super rich game for Yakov, so losing some mining on the gold base can kind of bite into that. It's not like he's got a huge bank build up. Anything ByuN can do to slow down that should be very useful for him. Loading up again, just keeping the drops going. ByuN always active with these drops, always trying to get them in position and trying to make things happen. Are you gonna fight a couple drones? It's gonna be going down. I mean, nice from ByuN to get some damage on the other side, knocking down the potential 5th hatchery. Keeping Yakov as a 4-base player, more or less, is kind of just a huge deal. Lurkers unprotected once more, and this is the opportunity ByuN wants, right, where you can actually get rid of the lurkers, but the blinding clouds are good. Stops the lurkers from actually being able to connect. I just come boosting back around. Now BioStim's in on the left-hand side, just going to drop down into position here. Hatchery going to be in trouble. A couple of roaches being picked away at immediately. A few more Hydras getting picked away at now as we just see Hydras trying to step forward. A couple of medevacs getting picked away at. A couple of Queens getting jumped on. Success on that right-hand side, and a few drones going down too. ByuN continue to just fight this with pure bio. If we get to enough lurkers and protect them properly, it really feels like it should be very, very good for Yakov, but he's struggling right now. ByuN's struggling here. He finished off that hatchery, kind of got surged upon by everything. He's got units on the other side though, and Yakov has not got anything on the other side defending. ByuN's losing SCVs on the 3rd base, by the way. He could have dealt with that very easily because it was just 2 Hydralisks. So that's something that ByuN could have done a whole lot better, a whole lot sooner. He did not need to lose the 12 SCVs here. Yakov is now a 3-base Zerg. The bio is still gathering. We'll just surge up, just gonna have a couple medevacs jumped on, but we do get away with everything again. Fire moves over, a couple of 15 minutes going down. He's going to step into this. Those Hydras are going to be in some trouble. You see, I mean, honestly, a lot of supply dropping on both sides as ByuN is fighting into a lurker here as well. So there is some splash kind of involved in this. He gets the scan. He will target that lurker. These last few Hydras trying to hang on for dear life. Roach Hydra going to counterattack through. ByuN evacuates. Boosting to save the siege tank. We'll bring that further back, but he is going to deny the gold-based mining. Obviously, ByuN is knocked down and now 2 bases of his own. Hydra surge on forwards, and ByuN may not have enough to deal with this attack. He's got supply. It's just not right here, but the Hydras at the front are going down very quickly. Oh, those units. Oh, ByuN has some units on the left side as well, so he's absolutely going to clear this up. Never mind. He's going to be okay. 29 SCVs left to 42 drones. A 2-base Zerg, but with 2 hatcheries building, could be a 4-base Zerg in the near future. It's obviously not a huge economy, but that's where I add. You know what? As these units, unit counts get lower, there's a scenario where Lurk is going to be obviously huge, right? Because the less bio there is, the less chance there really is to kind of just dive on top of the Lurkers from ByuN. So that might be something you're looking at a little bit here as Yakov. It's a lot of bio. It's also a lot of medevacs. Tons of healing availability. These Lurkers, just got burrowed and then just ate a transfusion in time. That Queen has a couple more transfusions left on it, so for the moment is going to stand there and be rather useful. Couple Marines grab the Overlord hatchery and then go down in the front. ByuN tries to find this base on the right side. Actually going to take the larger fight here. This is a big moment. Scan's going to be good. The Lurkers melt, and the bio is going to surge forward. It's not going to be enough for Yakov. GG. A scrappy set of games. This series did not deserve to be a 3-0. This is actually an awesome 3-0. One of the better 3-0s you'll see. Scrappy, close, back and forth. Definitely ByuN, I think, the favored player. But you could kind of see where kind of Yakov had opportunities and ByuN was able to bring it back and retake control. Just a scrappy series altogether. Very fun one. ByuN advances to the top 8, and unfortunately for Yakov, his European League journey ends here after a pretty good run throughout the event. It will be a top 12 finish for Yakov this year. Mana, ByuN, coming up next. We're going to get into this in a couple of moments. And get that started up, so we'll get that going. It's going to be Mana ByuN, and then we go into Showtime, Nikoract, Art, HARSTEM, and that is our day. 3 more best of 5 still coming up, guys. We'll just wait for some videos. We'll be out a moment or two, and I'll be back with you guys in a sec. BRB. Alright, as you can probably hear, the countdown begun, and this best of 5 is going to begin. So this is the two winners of the last two series going up against each other now, as we will see who gets to move on to day 2 of the European League 2025 with WardiTV. And the top right, he's been looking good lately, and we actually do favor him a little bit here as well, I think. It is going to be mana. I think the server advantage for him is going to be a big deal in this series. An opponent who he's been having an okay time against lately in ByuN in the bottom left. Add to that now European server. And yeah, I like I say, I think I'm picking ByuN. Sorry, I think I'm picking mana as my favorite for now. See what we get to though, as we're going to just start with proxy barracks from ByuN. Across the map, barracks 1, barracks 2, and it's Marauder time, I believe. ByuN's been doing a few different proxies lately, did some the other day as well, when we were casting him. So, yeah, gonna go for the double racks here. This, again, definitely looks like Marauders in this scenario, so that's kind of what we're expecting this to be. As both those barracks come online, gateway coming through, coming up. Probe, SCV, going by as well, getting all of this on the way. Mana is 6 to 25 in series against ByuN, but 4 of those wins came in 2025. Wow, that's a great start. Yeah, that's actually a great start. I love that. The SCV there turned about a little bit. Probe coming up to the high ground. Gonna go chase the SCV. Nibble, nibble, nibble. Hello, and thank you very much. Marauder building. Just gonna see the tech lab next to barracks 1. Barracks number 2 getting set up there. Mana's been a beast this year, even PvP. I feel like Mana always has these kind of periods where he kind of becomes very good again, honestly. Like, that's just a very mana thing to do, to be honest. That was cool to see. Let's see if he's going to move about. And both those Marauders coming up. The concussive shells is on the way by as well. A couple of those Marauders building, as mentioned. And again, the Zealot, the Robo facility. A little bit of everything coming through for the moment, as the Marauders going to get rid of the Proby. Just for the moment. Now going to go for the Zealot. Now the battery is actually a big deal here as well. If you get rid of the battery early, that would be huge. Zealot and the probes are going to try and chase those Marauders down, but that battery's dead, and that's a huge deal. Concussive Shell's now about to finish as well, by the way, so the Zealot's going to be a whole lot more trouble as well. Stalker should get rid of the SCV. Marauder's going to threaten forward, and the bunker will not go up, but hey, this is already a great time now. We have got a Robo on the high ground. That's going to be what Mana wants to really hang on to here and really look to utilize in the near future. It's hard to go up this ramp, especially when the probes are up at the top of it. ByuN coming through, looking for a couple more workers as we speak, though. 2, 3, 4 going down. I mean, like I said, the Immortal popping out is going to be a big deal. What is interesting, though, is, first of all, we had a couple Marines build, apparently. What is interesting is, obviously, Immortal is very good, but it can still die. While it cranks out damage against the Marauders, it can go down if the Marauders are able to do enough. Going to send the Marines forward here. That's not it, I don't think, from ByuN, is it? Well, he turned his attention on the Stalker for a second. Might still want to try and finish the Stalker. Well, never mind. Mana just doesn't have enough. With the Immortal going down, no follow-up there because he had so much lost mine time with the probes pulled. That part I didn't really account for, and ByuN does take the opening game of the series. Aggression in his opponent's face. Just never started a second Immortal there, Mana, which is kind of what I presumed was already going to be happening, and obviously that was just not true. So, GG. Just like that. Game 2 on Ultra Love coming up in a second. Put this on the way. Alright, everyone's readying up. We'll be good in a second, guys. I think Mana just, the pro pull actually really came to bite him in the end, it seemed. A little bit crazy, but it's all good. That's how things go. Let's get into Ultra Love and see what happens to get into our next game. in the bottom left-hand side. The red Protoss player here is going to be Team Liquid's Mana. Down a game in this best of 5. Obviously, lower bracket still. Every matchup today is an elimination match. It is Mana in the bottom left, down 1 in this best of 5 series. Falling to the Marauders early. As we have in the top right, the blue Terran is going to be Shopify. Rebellion's ByuN. Game number 2, ByuN. In this next game, see how we go, see what happens here. Okay, and the assembly coming down, barracks and refinery coming up. Get all of that underway for the moment. Barracks finishes, and that barracks complete, and obviously opens the game up. No Reaper, going to be a Marine first from ByuN. So that's fun. It means no Reaper across the map, no scouting early. It also means 50 more gas for him in terms of building the factory, so the factory will be able to build a little bit sooner as the probe continues to play the nibbling game against the SCV for a couple moments. A little bit of back and forth just continuing to come about. Again, commands in the building factory on the way. So you'll be seeing the SCVs continue to crank on through. Extra assimilator is finishing up as well. Pulls back into the main base. Going to be having ourselves the Stalker finishing in a few moments. The Warp Gate is still very much so on the way up. And that Sentry is building as well on the side of Mana. So Sentry about to be done. Couple of moments. And Starport building, Command Center building. Hellion on the way, add a Marine as well. Did he cancel the Marine and restart it? Was that when the probe was still in there? If he did, it's probably just a little fake out he's trying to do. He's trying to make it look like a Reaper opening, because Mana knows when a Marine would pop out. So if the Marine doesn't pop and the probe sees that, the probe assumes it's a Reaper, right? So, yeah, cute little something. He actually did this in the EWC against Australia. He did a lot of little trickery things, you know? In the openings of those games when Australia was scouting, he showed a lot of little bits and pieces, and then just kind of... yeah, took those kind of... Just try to make it difficult for his opponent to read at every stage of the game, right? Assume it's a Reaper, you might kind of do something a little bit different or build something you're not going to build otherwise, for example, right? So, like I say, those things really do typically add up as the hallucination heads across to the upper right side and looking for some more info. The Hellions here will get rid of the probe that's coming across the map. And the hallucination will see the medevac, so big scout there. And now this is not exactly going to be unseen coming across the other side. Marines are forced to unload to chase the hallucination off of it, and then at least the medevac will lose the hallucination's tail. Medevac actually continues. The Marines unload. They're going to walk one way. The medevac's going to take the Hellions and just take this as a Hellion drop to try and get them into a mineral line and give them a chance to deal some damage. I do not hate it. I actually think it's a really cool idea. See what this is able to do. Obviously, if you're prepping for like a Marine-based defense against Marines and the Hellions run by, the Hellions hitting the mineral line could cause you some issues, right? So, at the very least, I like the idea from ByuN and getting in and trying to find some damage. And they got a couple of probes here, gets 2. Medevac low, but will live out to the right-hand side, so is able to escape from this for now at the very least, as that robo facility is also about to finish up. Blink done momentarily. Gateway, Forge. Another probe coming about as well. Observer on the way, so really getting to see a lot of the tech coming online from Mana. The Hellions will be caught by these Stalkers. It's a nice catch. just before Blink is done. Actually, let one of the Hellions live, but one Hellion low HP is very manageable. That is unlikely to really cause too much trouble here in the foreseeable future. Stalkers blink up. A few Marines are going to wander across. Going to try and get into position. The hallucination taken down as we continue to chase into these few Stalkers now. And they're going to blink way out down to the low ground. Temple Archive still coming through. Stalker was still coming in. We do have our +1 attack upgrade building on the Engineering Bay. Raven. Auto turret goes down. The Stalkers blink after said Raven, though it will not last for that long at all. And the auto turret didn't even target probes there. That could have been so much better for ByuN. Not a well-executed Raven attack, and that will just fall to the wayside as a wasted opportunity there for ByuN. Could have done so much more with the Raven for sure. That's really a shame in those early stages. Hallucination going to pop up. And again, some scouting to be done here in the early moments. Another hallucination taken down. Storm on the charge. We'll continue to build. We had another high temper. In combat and +1 will continue through. Stalkers blink into the main. Siege tank will go down. The few Marines want to continue to chase over as well. The stim pack is also going to go down, so that will also drop here. A few other Stalkers get chased out for the moment, and the combat shield will have to cancel to give the stim pack an opportunity to build on the other tech labs, trying to remove the effectiveness of that blinking by ByuN. Trying to recover as best as he can from Mana's attack, which honestly was fairly successful. Got in there, got some decent damage done, got back out the other side, and yeah, Mana will be happy with that one. Just gonna see again the depot taking a bit more damage. Storm finishes back at home for Mana, so he's now gonna have Storms on his side. This situation is going to be very good for him. I like this a lot. I think in any game that's going to be kind of macro-esque and not super crazy, and ByuN's not going to have like a huge time window to take advantage of, I think I'm always favoring Mana in this scenario, considering the European server. Honestly, just considering how well Mana has been playing when he's gotten to this stage of the game lately in general in PvT, I think that's kind of a huge point to kind of look at and take away from this as well. Immortal +1, additional gate, probes all continuing up. And Bio will join up with the medevacs. Couple storms come down, SCV's already falling. 6 workers going down as the prism comes back around the left-hand side. +1 armor upgrade, stim pack and combat shield coming through as well. A little bit of everything coming online for now. A few Stalkers just on a move there. Not going to move about for now. Take a couple of seconds. It's going to be seen the Marine is going to jump onto the cannons. That's going to go down too. Nice little drop then from ByuN. They get some value here, and these few Stalkers are going to try and go after the medevac. Going to lose one Stalker. The Stalker getting blocked by the probes. The Stalker's going to go down. I mean, there's a lot of probes going down. Mana's focused on the fight on the other side. It's a massive storm dead center on the ramp. ByuN has more units further up to the next high ground. If that was all of Mana's storms, no, he has more storms available. Do we have the dodging needed by ByuN to be able to deal with this at the moment? He did so much damage just now. If he can just survive over here, he's going to be in good shape. There's still storms remaining in good numbers as well. Storm at the front. ByuN did not really run into that one, though. Another storm. That's the annoying part, right? Is you're constantly being pushed back by those storms. Your third base may be now even in trouble. And so ByuN's going to be forced to fight into this, but if you fight into this, you're fighting into storms. You can see the Ghost looking for the Snipe. The High Templar does not get away. Snipe goes down. Oh my god, 2 or 3 more High Templar join the fray though. ByuN, super dangerous. Feedback comes down. Not a storm just yet. We're going to continue to fall back. Orbital Command is in trouble. Steps into the storm for a second, pulls away. The medevacs are hurting a lot here as well. He could do with just 20 seconds to repair A, the orbital, and B, the medevacs. Everything gets repaired here. I like it a whole lot more for ByuN, as he still holds the supply lead again. All that damage done on the other side was absolutely huge for him. Is going to have this High Templar chased away now as well. That will be pushed off into the distance. Will become an Archon in the end, as Mana will continue to sit on the map, although he will stop the never-ending kind of push-ins for now at least. I guess that makes them not never-ending anymore. So finally they come to a close, but I don't know for how long. Nice little split from ByuN. does get the High Templar there, force a couple storms out, killed the army on the right side too, so ByuN punishing Mana's attempted split of a force there. Very nicely handled, very well done for the moment. Just going to see the rest of this army still pressing up. A couple of Archons getting forced back by an EMP. Well, Zealots will be jumped on as the Archon continues to morph on in. So the Storm coming straight down. And again, those Archons are going to be in some trouble. The Immortals getting chased back as well. Being a retreating Protoss player is never really a lot of fun, because retreating with nothing to stop the Terran chasing you gives the Terran free reign to just hit that army down, and ByuN extending the supply lead as he looks to extend the series lead from 1-0 to 2-0. If he could win this second game, he's on the right path. But Storms are still available. As long as Storms are still available, I'm not going to doubt that there's comeback potential for Mana, especially when ByuN is playing with that European ping. He is going to have slower responses. He's going to have trouble getting out of Storms potentially, right? Those are the exact kind of things that could become a little bit problematic. As another Storm goes down, the Ghost Snipe goes off. Bion moving back to the top. Engineering base will drop into place. Just going to see those few Marines and Ghosts going to fight again. The Zealots will drop. Robot facility on the way to assimilate is in production at the Immortal, at the +2. All of that being brought up currently. EMP misses the Immortal. See the feedback's being used from Mana, but I mean, there's a lot of Ghosts. I feel like feedbacking is using energy that Mana kind of needs to storm with. Don't get me wrong, I mean, getting rid of some of the Ghost energy is never a bad thing. It's just when you're using like 2 of your 3 High Templar to feedback, and the other guy has like, say, 8-9 Ghosts, I feel like you need more than a couple of feedbacks, right? Like the value of each feedback in that scenario is so limited compared to what it might be in other situations. Zealots, Immortals, and Stalkers are still going to chase as this Bio army begins to prep a runaway. Gonna hold on top of the ramp. Good EMPs. One High Templar did drop out of that prism. It's not going to do enough. EMPs continue to coat this army. They're just getting backwards. It's going to turn. Should just fight into this now. Those Zealots warping in. I mean, by the time they get here, most of the army is dead anyway, so we'll do great in that regard. The Immortal lifting back up. The Zealots still going down. Stalkers taking hits as well. Damage, damage, damage. There's a couple more Stalkers that will fall down the drain here at the very, very end. Still shooting the medevac, taking damage. So a few shots continue to come about currently, as it's going to see that medevac will indeed go down. So the medevac falls. No, it doesn't fall. Apparently the medevac lived. The Stalker fell. I mean, I knew the Stalker was going to die eventually, but I thought the medevac would at least go down first. And those Marines have been absolutely brutal. They've done so much damage here as ByuN is able to continue his way through, and does look as though he's going to have himself what he needs to take the victory in this game. No, I mean, what am I going to go off? Zealot's going to go down. ByuN is at 130 to the 60 supply. It's looking like a 2-0 lead for ByuN in this best-of-5 series. So ByuN 2, Mana 0. One map more to go for ByuN to move into the top 6 of the tournament. Pretty heckin' crazy in that regard. As we will be taking a moment or so, and we will be heading to our next matchup. Mana has been hosting these games for us. We'll just run some ads quickly, guys, between games here. Get ready to resume. Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. Everyone joined us, so we shouldn't be long before jumping into this game 3. Countdown's good, and we're going to be getting into this. A loading screen. In the top left-hand side, we're going to start things off here with our Red Protoss player. He's down 0-2 and is fighting for his tournament life right now. Must win every game from this point onwards to stay in the event and to fight for top 6. It is going to be Mana, the Red Protoss player, in the upper left corner of Persephone. Which means that down in the bottom left-hand side is our Korean Terran, playing on the European server. It is the blue Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion, ByuN. Gain 3 mana. Losing a couple different games at this point now. There's a couple of key moments in that last game where ByuN just had a drop that just did way too much damage, right? Is what this really came down to. Just a couple different moments where there was just way too much found, way too much damage dealt. Definitely a few moments we could have been a little bit more cautious about. Gateway, Nexus, Probe in production, Rax, SCV continue to come about here. Reaper Orbital coming through, Nexus Cybercore coming online. It's going to be high ground command center from ByuN as it takes a little bit of caution in these early stages. Don't think there's anything overly surprising about that, to be honest. Is he set up right away? Factory is going to go down. Nexus, Cybercore both continue to be brought up right now. Just going to get that on the go. Just going to bring this straight through. Once again, that factory is about halfway along. People will be back to patrolling, so a little bit more back and forth from that guy. As you see the sentry in the warp gate coming through as well. Continue to bring that online. Starport building. Reaper is going to put some damage onto the probe. Stalker going to hit the Reaper. Probe goes down. That's going to be a KO. Now that Reaper getting pushed the other direction. So Reaper chased away down the right side. Just going to see the Twilight Council still building through here. A couple of probes. Stalker and the warp gate coming up as well. Hallucination down the left. Starport again about to finish here on the side of ByuN. Orbital command, a couple of Marines continue to build. Had a Hellion on. Hallucination just working through for the moment. Is the Marines going to get there? Hallucination still taking some damage. Orbital about to land onto the natural. Factory swaps over to the tech lab. Medevac building from the starport. Now Reaper and Hellion to the upper right side. We'll see if they find an angle to enter the Protoss mineral lines. Deflected for a moment. And that robot facility continues to come up. Raven on the way out. Things going through. 6 Marines dropping into the back of the main base here. The Stalkers will be there. First one goes down already, though. It's getting a little bit caught up. That's, well, I was going to say, that could be a second Stalker kill, but ByuN decides to lift up and to leave instead. I don't hate that as the Reaper Hellion on the low ground. Ooh, it's actually a funnily good force field, right? I actually think that if a Hellion can stay on the low ground, that's much rather where it would be, because if it's on the low ground, then that then that Hellion can continue with just a sentry against it. The Hellion might get another kill or two. Yeah, I think it's actually a little unfortunate not to actually get that grab there. Starport moves away over to the side, gonna relocate just a little bit. Blink finishing soon. And we have that Blink about to complete. Robo Bay, Nexus, continue to come about right now. We're seeing the Stim and the +1 coming online. The Marines and the Barracks on the way up as well. A couple of Marines still want to play Chase the Hallucination game. Hallucination will fade from existence. Again, charge, thermal lance, bit of everything coming through right now from mana. A bit of a different approach where he's playing kind of like a slower game this time around. Getting into that Colossus, getting into that kind of, you know, tech instead. Rather than trying to, obviously game 1 didn't really get to tech up much with the Marauders. Game 2, playing the Storm. Now, this game 3 really, like I say, sets up more slowly, and I wonder if that's just something he believes in, just gives him a more comfortable way into the later stages of this game, and really thinks he can do a lot from there. Going to be a scan, knocks down the Observer. Nice catch, but these 2 tanks sieged. And this army stranded. ByuN probably wants to bring this back home now. If you stay on the map much longer, you're going to give mana an opportunity to clean it up. And you don't want it to get cleaned up because you've got Stim coming in, combat and +1. These units are going to be part of a much better army very shortly. But they've got to survive until those upgrades finish and those other units come out to benefit the rest of this force as well, right? So we still need all of that to come in. And that's still what we're, you know, what we're setting up into at the moment still. Before SCV's going down as Mana walks into the natural and Blink into the main as well, so he doesn't get hunted down here too easily. Oh! Okay, that Blink is fine. Kills combat shield. Was it fine? Like, it was fine for getting combat shield, but I actually think it was a bad Blink because it lost him a bunch of Stalkers. Gun's going to drop into the main base. He's looking for more damage too. He's already been dealing damage. This Raven's been fantastic for him. As there's the unload, the recall will come down from Mana. ByuN's going to stand and fight, let the Widowmines do some work. I think this is an army which maybe standing and fighting was not the best call, but there's no Stalkers that recalled, so you actually can lift up and get away with this. And now ByuN pushing out onto the map with everything else as well, so he's already on the move over there. Looking to have a good time as the Bio swings over. Couple of Zealots, the +1 attack upgrade coming through, Ghost Academy in production, Barracks on the way, Medevacs and Marines reducing as well. We're just going to get another auto turret down, a couple of probes, and you get jumped on immediately. Again, the Bioforce continuing through the siege tanks. With that, in the end, we did not push across. Felt like that was obviously ByuN looking for the opening that he created, but again, did not just decide to dive in the end. Does pull it back and reset a little bit. A couple of probes that went down, and otherwise now just +1 attack finishing from Mana. And actually, he will take the opportunity to step onto the map himself a little bit. So, Mana will step down. A couple of tank shots are good. A couple of shots right there. Cannon finishing up. The Raven going to turn around. We will see some collapsible rocks dropped. Just means less ways for Mana to maneuver between the bases, right? Which is the Terran play you're kind of happy to see. The more you can kind of stop him doing that, the happier you'll typically end up. So, going to be going for that approach for now. And 2 SCVs, 2 probes going down at the moment here. Good job with the Viking, obviously pushing that prism away the other side, so making sure that that doesn't get out of control or anything. So again, another job well done for the moment. Stalking the Zealots, still warp in. Pile on the right side is grabbed, but this game is definitely heading to a later stage. This Raven Court now will go down. ByuN will not find any more value from there. And has been building up that Viking count, prepping for the fight against those Colossus when he brings the fight to Mana, which you have to imagine is not too far away from happening. Gonna fire up the right-hand side. There's a 4th base coming down over there, then brilliant, but there's not. 4th base setup is a little bit more congregated to the upper left for the moment. Zealots warping in, the Stalker and the Colossus join together. Seeing the Bio army, thinking of making a move out onto the map. We'll spawn that Nexus in. The Zealots take some damage against Stalkers and Colossus, looking at the idea of pushing down this left-hand side. And 2 upgrades, plus 1 ship weapons coming over. And stop 1 extra barracks. Game is, again, much slower than what we've seen in the previous game, but I think that's fine for now. Still just going to see this Bioforce still settling in right there. Storming the armor upgrade, building as well. Bringing that online. Cannon will get picked off. Not a lot of units on the other side of the map for mana. Wherever is Mana's army? It's at home, it's just not on the right base at the moment, and Mana getting supply block too. So when he starts to lose a little bit here and there, rebuilding it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. He does have 2 new bases on the way up. He does have some pylons on the way, so maybe supply block will not last too long in the end. And like I said, Mana didn't have much across the map, it's just those couple of Zealots. You can still see them swinging away there. They are yet to be fully committed to and cleaned up. As the Bio takes a chance, Colossus takes some damage. EMP there is good. Looking to dive forward again. Good EMP hits everything. Uh-oh. That's chase down time, and Mana is in trouble because there's enough Vikings to destroy these Colossus. Mana gets absolutely obliterated. Half the army there just getting EMP'd so hard. And that's the downside of trying to play this army split, right? Is that if you do lose half the army, that ain't great. I mean, Vikings take a bit of a beating right now, but you know what? There's only 1 Colossus left, and it's super low, so I don't know if the Vikings taking a beating there matter. Because we got so many Colossus for free. It's a fantastic fight for ByuN, who is putting himself in a great position right now. More high tempos warping in, and Bio gathering, CC floating over. Again, +2 armor finishing soon, +3 attack starting up. And I see the rocks already under some duress here. This is this is rough for Mana. Definitely in a bit of a difficult spot. Robo Facility Nexus coming through. Colossus, Prism, +2 armor coming away. I say Prism, I mean Prism speed. Kinetic Drive is well on the way to being done now. And the robot coming online. A couple of cannons will build. Tampa's going to drop those storms in. Double Stalker's going down. Colossus will fall. The Vikings want to go after the Prism, and that will go down, so no reinforcement even. The Zealots on the mineral line may be the best thing Mana finds here, as everything else gets cleaned up. The army is gone. Don't get me wrong, he did not trade terribly. ByuN lost a good amount during this as well. 10 SCVs included, but Mana lost everything army-wise, and ByuN obviously has a good standing army remaining. 50 army supply lead for ByuN coming out of this. This is not a game where Mana had built up a huge bank that he's ready to instantly replenish with either, so units are not going to just be spawning out of nowhere. You see the Bio jumping through, probes going down, Nexus will be in trouble. I mean, obviously this is kind of the natural next step after you've just wiped that army. Stalker around to that right side. A little bit of the Bio has to pull back. 1 medevac going down. The man's going to do what he can and take good fights for himself and to give himself some opportunity. I like what ByuN does. Gets that base. He's going to run down into this, but that's going to be a storm he eats. It's very slow to drop any sort of EMP response. Doesn't seem to be mattering. He does have +2 attack to +1 armor in this fight as well, so the Zealots do seem quite flimsy. And that was definitely notable and visible, I think, in that little bit of an engagement. The Nexus going down. Fusion Core coming up on the other side, by the way, as well. Seeing that coming through. Pro showing up. Again, that Bio will start to make a few steps over the other side there, so a little bit of progress. 8 probes going down. Bio continuing to fight. There's Alta dropping as well. Good Storm now, some feedbacks as well. Just going to be seeing the Colossus drop, and I mean, I just don't think we're keeping enough splash damage alive for mana in any of these fights to really have much of a chance. GG gets called. It's a 3-0 of 3 zeros. 3 zeros in a row in the opening matches of the European League playoffs for us. But ByuN will advance to day 2 of our tournament playoff weekend, as he will be taking on the loser, I believe, of Skillus and Hero Marine. It's a difficult matchup. That is a difficult matchup for sure. So that one's going to be a little bit tough as we ready ourselves up for Nikoract and Showtime in just a few moments. And we'll get that ready to go as well. Some more StarCraft coming up. These guys are already invited to a lobby. We'll just give it a minute for some ads to run, and we'll get right into that next series in just a second. In fact, I'm going to be on B screen a second for us guys. I think as well. Alright, BRB 1 second, guys. Alrighty, guys. Welcome back. How are you doing? How's everyone feeling today? It's going to be Nikoract versus Showtime up next for us. Next best of 5 gets going. So yeah, ley lines, TVP, Nikoract, Showtime. Coming on up. I'm going to get this underway. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for joining us in what has been, yeah, not the longest of evenings of StarCraft 2 playoff action we've ever had. 3 best of 5s in 2 hours. Sometimes it be like that, though. Honestly, we've had some cool games. I think the initial PvP was a little one-sided, but honestly, the TVC and the TVP were fun. Just not in scoreline. That's okay. Sometimes it's like that as we kick off. Into the top right side, this matchup. The blue Terran in the upper right corner is Nikoract, taking on the Protoss in the bottom left. It is Showtime. Showtime had a rough tournament. You look through his results. He went 1-2 against Mana, then he beat Babe Marine 2-0, then he went 1-2 against Goblin, 2-1 Sebastes, 2-1 Uthermal. Showtime made it through into the playoffs just about. Against now a Nikoract, who actually had a very convincing tournament in comparison in a way. 0-2 Goblin, but then 2-0 Hydra, 2-0 Percival, 0-2 Shameless, 2-1 Jumi. Nikoract making the top 12 and an opportunity to play Showtime here in these playoffs. I mean, this is a tough playoff matchup, right? But at the end of the day, no matter what, it's always going to end up in a tough playoff matchup. These tournaments, they attract good players, and even if you're good enough to squeeze into playoffs, your playoff match is not going to be easy. But that is why we did enjoy the That is why we did enjoy the kind of the group stage being the way it was, because even if these guys hit playoffs and they can't quite make it through here, we did get to see a bunch of matches from these guys in the build-up to it. Factory coming up, Tech Lab is on the way. He's going to be seeing the Nexus, the Stalker, and the Warp Gate coming about as we get all set up. Reaper chasing, Probe getting hunted. You see that Stalker going to be there, and that Reaper getting turned around, going the other way. And Sentry in the Warp Gate continue to come online. That's all going to get a few shots off. You see that Reaper pushed away to the other side. Cyclone building up. The Twilight Council coming down. We're expecting Nikoract to probably play a pretty aggressive series, guys. He's the kind of player who, especially when he's kind of the underdog here, he's going to come in with the 2 base builds, the timing attacks. I think he knows that's his best way of winning. And I think it's not a crazy way of thinking either. I don't think there's anything wrong in kind of looking at this and saying, yeah, you know what? I am the underdog, right? Like, I am the player who is likely going to be a little bit more trouble in these scenarios. So, yes, get aggressive. Do what he does best anyway, which is that kind of style in the first place. And then just kind of continue through from there. So, I like it. As this Reaper continues to move about, getting set up. And then just going to see the sentries, stalkers coming around as well. Just going to turn that Reaper back the other direction for a moment. And Advanced Medics coming through. Ruddermine, Medevac, and Marines all on the way out. So we get all of this coming through for the moment. Hallucination locked onto by the Cyclone. As the Ruddermine continues over again, a couple Stalkers and the Sentry gather up. The Blink will be about halfway done. Medevac loading up and going to take a little bit of a boost out down to the bottom left-hand corner, so we'll just get going there straight away. There's, yeah, Banshee. Tank and a couple of Marines will be able to come over for the moment. Hello, Zerglin. How's it going? Thank you so much for the 101-month resub. 1 century of glorious SC2. Love it. It's crazy. That's a big-ass resub, man. Appreciate it as always. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so very much. That is actually kind of crazy, honestly. Love to see it as the hallucination is flying by here, by the way. It's just going to come straight through with this already. And Banshee tank, couple Marines all on the way. Hallucination killed off already. Nikoract building all those units that are aggressive, that are feisty, that are likely to come across the map. We thought it was going to happen, and here it is. The SCVs are pulling through. Couple of shots going off. The army already turned around for the moment. Gates, Forge, Charge, all building. See the scan coming down as we do get rid of a Stalker in the front. The rest of the army is still coming about. Again, the group of batteries coming through. The Stalker's in production. Just going to start getting some shots off. Force fields go down. The army is going to struggle to kind of get up there and do much else right here. Stalkers split apart and go a couple different directions as again the army can take a think about what it might like to try and do. See these tanks, and this Nexus is going to be in some trouble. Showtime looking to cut this army off a little bit. The reinforcements, but he does not have a lot of units right here. Showtime, I think he's in some genuine trouble. Let's see what the defense looks like. He does cut off that Banshee. That's massive. That's one big kind of DPS unit that goes down that will not be joining the rest of these forces. But Showtime's already down 12 probes. He's already losing a lot on this third base, and I mean, Charge is not close to being done yet. At this point, you're probably going to wait for Charge before you fight because there's no point, going too soon. Well, maybe he doesn't feel like he can wait. The good news is, of course, that this Terran army is not getting stronger. The Stalkers have successfully pushed back reinforcements for now. And he's going to try and stop it from rejoining any other reinforcements as well. Trying to actually take this fight. Jumps across. Siege tank from the top side going down as well. Showtime playing out of a very awkward situation at the moment as those tanks on siege are going to go for those as well. Every tank you get rid of is absolutely huge, right? Because tanks really are the power behind this army. The Marines do good damage, don't get me wrong, but the tanks do so much, and they do so much zoning as well. The Zealots with their charge coming forward and just being the sacrificial mules at the start of this, coming straight in, taking a bunch of damage, but absolutely helping to get rid of so many of the tech units because it gave the Stalkers so much freedom. That freedom definitely going a long way as the Stalkers continue to fight. Marines continue through. The other Marines coming back the other way. Immortal still stepping about. +1 and Nexus coming online for now. As Stimpack, Combat Shield, additional Marines continue to produce. Add a couple more barracks, add a couple more refineries. And we'll see that command center is going to be done in the near future. Marine tank in position, just going to turn the Stalkers and the Immortal around. The few Zealots at the front as well will charge up. SCVs are going to pull forward. Siege tank gets taken down immediately. As Marines continue to fight, the Zealots are still dropping. 9 SCVs, 10 SCVs going down. This is obviously Showtime's counter, and it's going well so far. Showtime rebuilds the third behind this. In fact, he's rebuilding the fourth, so he's feeling okay about following up from here. It did seem scary, but Showtime handled it so well. He took a lot of, like I say, very complicated and complex, awkward fights. Yeah, but handled them well enough to kind of scrap this scenario together now, where we are not far from witnessing, most likely, victory. Stalk's going to hit the Marines, bit more damage being done. And +1 in Combat Shield continue to come through for the moment as the Storm will continue building. Gateways on the way up, probes in production. +1 attack, Stimpack and concussive shells will continue to build by. The Bio will be there hitting the Stalkers, pushing those back the other way. Stimpack is about to complete. At this point, Nikoract's in a ton of trouble, right? Because he's a 2-base Terran against a 4-base Protoss. The economy is there as well. Even as he floats a CC down to this third location, he's down 20 workers. It's just not really where you want to be. Storm is finishing too, so it's going to give Showtime all of the tools he'll want to use at this stage of the game as well. It really is difficult to see the path forward for Nikoract here. That is a positive pathway. This does feel pretty difficult. So yeah, it's looking a little bit rough here for our Terran player. +2 in the Prism. Still coming about. Marine Marauder tank coming up as well. Zell goes down. A little bit of Bio crashing in. The Prism loading up a few units over on this left side as well. Some extra Zealots warping too. Showtime really is looking good. The numbers are not looking terribly far apart, but do not let that fool you. This is absolutely a scenario where Showtime is going to be feeling great. Because right now, everything Showtime has is about just going to units. Whereas Nikoract still has a lot of production to make to kind of set himself up. Like, he has a lot of infrastructure to build and set up. And all that kind of stuff is kind of just missing for him at the moment. As you see those Zealots going to go charging straight through. The Stalkers are going to follow. The Zealots will go after that Bio army. The Prism following as well. We're just going to be seeing the Zealots looking to try and jump on top of some of those Bio units already. A couple Storms. Going across the left side now instead, up to the high ground, tank shot firing. A lot of Storms available. High Templars can do what they would like here. I mean, drops them forward aggressively. Puts them back in the Prism as well. More Storms going off. The Zealots are getting the mineral line. It's going to be GG as Showtime takes an opening game of this best of 5. So Nikoract has to tap out. Honestly, first attack had some hope in it, right? I felt like there was definitely potential there. I was a little scared for Showtime. Like, it was definitely a tricksy scenario to kind of fight your way from, but Showtime's experience really shines through in the end. And kind of comes through to get the job done, to be honest, so nicely done, nicely handled. We'll go to Pylon for game 2 here in a couple of moments. As you can hear, countdown's wrapped up, and we're going to be able to get in game. Again, I hope everyone's doing well today. Thanks for joining us for some European League action. Playoffs this weekend. Hope you're all feeling great. Let's get into it and keep the games rolling. As in the bottom right-hand side, our blue Terran player down one game is Nikoract. Taking on the red Protoss in the upper left corner, we do have ourselves Showtime. Game 2 of this best of 5. Let's kick this off. Just going to be seeing the assimilator coming down. Alrighty, guys. Again, thanks for joining us. Let's see what we get for Game 2 here on Pylon. Nikoract looking to bounce back in this one. Not easy, though. Showtime's freaking good. We obviously know that as well, so... we know this is not an easy match to be playing right here. Nexus drops into place, gateway about to finish, STV about to be done, orbital command already starting up. Cybercore drops into the corner. And Cybercore and the Nexus continue to come about. Assembly will be done very soon. Just have the orbital command center, Reaper, a bit of everything continue to come up for the moment. Showtime's heavily favored in this match? Yes, absolutely. Showtime is he's an EWC player. Nikoract, this is not to be harsh or anything, but it's just true. Nikoract did not come close to qualifying for EWC, right? You know, Nikoract is very much so an online guy. Does well in the tournaments he plays in, does well in a lot of the cups he plays in and so on, but... and don't get me wrong, if he took a map off Showtime, wouldn't be shocked. If he took a full best of 5 against Showtime, that is serious upset territory. Like, him taking a map is not really an upset. Him taking a best of 3 in an online cup, not really upset. Him taking the best of 5 today, I think, in the playoffs of this, that I think would be like a very serious upset. Like, that's the kind of level we're at, where this really should be Showtime series. Nikoract's good. Showtime truly is just stronger and a bit better, and a lot more experience as well. So, yeah. But never say never. I'm not trying to take all the hype out of it for you guys or anything, just, you know, never say never. The scenarios can obviously still be very interesting. Let's just have the factory coming through, starport building, and get that underway. The hallucination will fly through the single marine there, putting a little bit of damage out onto said hallucination, so some damage done already. As the Hellion will pop out and will begin to make a little bit of a trek around. 2 more gateways in the blink on the way from Showtime, so he sets up in a very standard manner for the moment. Not looking all too crazy or anything of the sorts. Again, a couple stalkers in the sentry still building up as well. Gateways, blink, warp gate. Little bits of everything on the way through at that robotics facility on as well right now. A hallucination will come down that bottom right side of the map. A hunt to see, of course, a little bit of what's going on. Get an eye in, get an ear in, just, again, scout and get some information to work with at this point of time. Hallucination is going to see the medevac boosting out over the other direction. Guessing that's straight on out of there as the medevac tries to cut back across. Stalkers are right there, and medevac's like, uh-oh! Don't really want to go walk into that one, so it does try and turn away. The other couple stalkers will continue across. This medevac has no idea where to go to for the best. Uh-oh, it's out of boost energy as well. The stalkers didn't stutter step those stats. You're going to let it go for a little bit, but it's not good enough from Nikoract. He will lose the medevac. Force field at home was good as well, by the way. Reaper Helene will not enter the natural. And Showtime is looking dominant. That's 10 supply down super early in the game. Showtime now has nothing to concern himself with. Blink available to go after the Hellions if he wanted. Showtime could really not be in much better of a scenario for this early stage of the game. These units are going to get through, but then for what purpose? Not really any. That's a good defense from Showtime as well. I mean, let's see what he can do harassing the main base, because I think it's more on what, let's see what Nikoract can do defensively off of what has been an extremely difficult position. He's not going to do much of anything. GG gets called, and Showtime takes the second game of this best of 5. So Showtime really just catching that medevac really just puts things completely tits up for the Terran player, because now your entire game plan is thrown off. Everything you want to do is just gone from expectations, and obviously becomes very, very difficult to do much else from that kind of a scenario. GG. Alrighty guys, Maganatha coming up for map 3. We're going to get right on into it. We're going to keep the games rolling. Showtime, Nikoract, HARSTEM will be playing after this series as he takes on Art. That'll be another best of 5 coming up when we get there. Alright, ready and go goes. Let's hope for a little bit of a longer game, because we might have some downtime, unfortunately, if yeah, we might have some downtime if we don't find that, so let's see what happens. Bottom right side, we start off with the blue Terran player. This is Nikoract. And he takes on the red Protoss in the top left-hand corner. Showtime 2-0 in the lead. Looking good, feeling good. Showtime popping off so far here in this matchup. And it's been a day of 3-0 so far, but hey, you know what? Sometimes if all the 3-0s happen on day 1, it just means all the 3-2s are being saved for the deeper part of the playoff bracket, guys. They're coming, okay? They're coming. just not quite today, it is all. Believe. 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 I'm coping. I'm coping a little bit, but I do believe. I have some good matchups coming up tomorrow. We're nearly 90 minutes ahead of schedule. Yes, we are definitely ahead of schedule. Minor problem, minor problem. Like I said, we might actually have some downtime, because I'm not sure if the guys are ready to play this early, so we'll, I'm not going to be upset if people aren't ready to play an hour and a half ahead of schedule, you know, like obviously we usually play on an accelerated schedule, but an hour and a half is pretty extreme amounts to be ahead compared to normal, right? So I don't think that's super crazy. Let's just sort of sit back and say, okay, we'll just chill, we'll just see where it goes. Typical Nexus coming up, probe on the way. Just gonna have our orbital factory and reactor coming through as well, so a little bit of all that coming online. Yeah, we got skill Hero Marine versus Skills tomorrow. Shameless Max Packs will be interesting. Shameless had such a good group stage. See if he can challenge Max Packs, who's not looked perfect in PvP as of late. And then obviously the winner of this series plays the winner of HARSTEM Art tomorrow in the lower bracket as well. We have some more lower bracket matchups, and then the whole tournament wraps up on Sunday evening. Very, very exciting. Also just got confirmed front page time, by the way, for a WardiTV Monday coming up, so that'll be exciting a couple weeks from now. Not next Monday, but the Monday after. We're probably going to double up on streaming that day. We're probably going to do WardiTV Mondays, and we're going to do WardiTV Mondays V2, the second one of the day, because yeah, we'll be with the front page time. We can probably look to do we'll be looking to do like at least an 8-hour stream, so it's going to be a lot of fun as well, I think. Here's Nikoract. Nikoract's a Russian Terran player who's been around a long time. Has been really just grinding the online scene, I think, is what it's fair to say. Like, if you watch a lot of these smaller tournaments, OSC events, and, you know, a lot of the WardiTV Mondays and stuff, you'll oftentimes, if you look at the brackets, you'll see him in the earlier rounds and so on. This week, he very nearly made it through a little bit deeper in the WardiTV Monday as well, so he's a player who's absolutely, like, you know, like I say, if he took a map off Showtime, it wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. If he won the series, that would be kind of where we're getting to in terms of like crazy levels. Give you an idea of his skill. Like he can challenge the top guys, but he is MMR below them. He is the underdog. So yes, in a longer series, he is not meant to really be able to get the kind of the reins of the matchup against someone like Showtime. That's for sure. Yeah, he's been around for a while. Just been around for a while, and obviously, like I say, it's about how many. I think Nikoract's been in a couple of like ESL regionals, so DreamHack regionals and stuff, when those were around. So he's that kind of like he verges in like the top 32 of Europe or so. I think is a fair place to put him. This game was an engineering bay block, hence the third base location for Showtime, and then the Hellions trying to take advantage of a Protoss who's, you know, typically out of position compared to usual. But that was very well done so far from Showtime defensively, so no problems at all there. Very nicely handled for now. Blink coming up, Stim on the way. Tank and Marines building. I see that hallucination taking a little bit more damage. Is HARSTEM art today? Yes, that will be coming up next. Marines do grab that hallucination, by the way, so that will go down. The combat shield continuing to build. Blink is about to complete. Additional gateways coming online. Had a charge to that from Showtime. He's in no rush, right? Like, he's happy for this game to go longer. He's happy for this scenario to be, you know, Nikoract having to figure out a way to pressure into him. Still going to fight a couple SCVs and Marines. Taking damage, you can see obviously the SCVs already pulling. Interestingly enough, Stim done and combat shield finishing soon. Showtime gonna just try and buy time right now. I mean, this is a fairly early attack, but it has some good power behind it. These Stalkers do want to try and chip away at it as it comes across the map, and right now losing a couple of Stalkers, so things getting a little hairy here for Showtime. Charge not done yet. It is good that he's slowing it down, though, because without charge being done, if this army just showed up on the other side, this is the kind of armies you have trouble with. Same as in that game 1 where there was a real opportunity, right, for Showtime as well. Definitely, definitely can get a little bit kind of scary and hectic. Battery taking some damage. Is going to be seeing the army at the front will gather together. He's going to sim around that right side. Zeld's going to charge forward. Siege Tank's going to jump and attack the Stalkers already. Some Zelds from the other side again. Showtime just having a little bit too much and looking a little bit too good in this series. 3-0 defense after defense after defense. GG's. Showtime 3-0. Unfortunately for Nikoract, his European League run will end there. The heavy hitters have definitely handled the up-and-coming hopefuls in this bracket so far very handily. Like I said, 3-0 has really kind of shown us that, as that leaves us with Showtime into the next round. And yeah, up next to us will be HARSTEM Art, but we might have a little bit of downtime, guys. Because we are like an hour and a half ahead of schedule, basically. So we are like 1.5 hours ahead of where we should be. Alright, let me run some ads and do some poking about. Alright, I'll just do some poking about and figure out what the scenario is. I'll probably just go to a break screen quickly. Bum 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 bum. Alright, so I'm gonna throw us to break screen because I'm not sure how exactly long we're gonna be. But we are looking to get into HARSTEM up, but let me be a few moments and we'll come back. Oh, guys, art's here. Perfect. So art's here. So I'm just gonna be 1 minute, and then we'll be back in the series. We'll get going. So yeah, we'll be going soon. No downtime. Hello, guys. So videos are coming in for HARSTEM and art. Turns out that we were not delayed at all. Yeah, we're just rampaging through these games. Rampaging through. Coolio. Alright. Yeah, this PvP ready to rumble, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Alright. We'll, I believe they're vetoing in private, so we don't see their videos, so I don't know how far through they are, but I don't imagine we're too far away from kicking this off. Getting this underway. Just trying to check a bit of what's up, but... Alright, first one I guess hosts up, it's Persephone. Let's get this on the way. Apparently it took so long because they were having an absolute... Apparently they vetoed to a best of 3, they then vetoed the maps each other had vetoed. It was a whole thing apparently. But we're good to go. Persephone, game 1 of this best of 5 PvP. As we look to wrap up day 1 of the European League playoffs, it's been 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0 so far today. Surely this is at least a 3-1. Come on. Give us some action, give us some back and forth, give us some fight. In the top left, he's actually had a very impressive performance lately. He's actually played well in some PvPs. Excited to see what he can bring to the table here. This is Art. Our pink Protoss in the top left corner of Persephone. Taking on the red Protoss in the bottom left-hand corner, we're going to have HARSTEM. Get into game 1 of this best of 5. And we look to see what will happen. Showtime with us, the winner of this is tomorrow. Yes, this is the last series of today. It's just split up in such a way that we don't have like two... Basically, like, because I know we did like the Mana ByuN series today, but if we did that one today, and then we also do Showtime and the winner of this today, at some point we just have way less series. So it's just designed to give us pretty much 5 series today, 5 series tomorrow, then 5 or 4 series on the final day. So yeah. So this is the last series of today. Yeah, that's the reason why some of the rounds get kind of half played today. It's just about balancing the tournament out and making sure that each stream, in theory, is a similar kind of length. Although today really has been an absolute steamroller of a matchup. We have just been go, absolutely zero chill in this in this selection of best of 5s. Yeah, let's hope for a fun last series of the day. It's been so fast that I actually wasn't going to upload a YouTube video tonight because usually I upload my YouTube video like an hour and a half ago or something. Obviously, we're live streaming. This has gone so fast that I think we're still going to upload tonight. So if you guys want to watch some ByuN versus Raynor, that'll be on the YouTube when we finish up the live stream today. So yeah. Yeah, it's not been the most banger of matches. Like I said, like some of the games today have been good. It's not that the games haven't been good, it's been that the series haven't been... The score lines haven't been close, and that's really where I'll leave it. Like, it's not that the games haven't been good and competitive, it's that the overall scores just haven't been close. Like, if you looked at it today on paper, you'd be like, wow, not going to catch up on that one. But I would recommend you watching, at the very least, the ByuN series. I think were both very fun. They were both pretty cool, so... Yeah, it's been one of those days where, honestly, a couple times over, I think we could have maybe had a map go the other way, and then you start having a bit of a different day, you know, so... The last 3 matches of the group stage being played, they are being played. I don't know if we're going to cast them. I have the replays for 1, or maybe even 2 of them already. But yeah, I don't know. I need to look into it. I told them they could just play because they weren't impactful to the playoffs. And because they weren't impactful to the playoffs, I was very happy for them to just kind of go in their own time, because I changed some of the scheduling around, so I gave them some freedom to play, so I'll chase that up. But they will be played. I will probably get to cast them at some stage. I would like to do all three at once if we are going to cast them, you know, rather than just kind of casting, like, if I have replays for one tonight, I'd rather not just do one tonight. Then at some point I have to randomly cast 2 series, which is hard to do, so... Proxy of Art got figured out a little bit, and HARSTEM throws the Nexus down. Art is throwing the Nexus down as well. Stargate producing that Oracle, and HARSTEM just getting the Robo up. So he's going to be nice and safe, but honestly in a position where he's nice and safe while essentially just being behind. Because his Nexus will be later, and he's going to have less map control. Obviously very powerful kind of potential plays with the Immortal, so we'll see what that comes out to mean. In the end, there's a few Stalkers and a couple of Sentries continue to gather together for a couple of moments. Sentry does pop out and takes a step down to the low ground, joining up with the rest of the Stalker Sentry here. And Immortal coming through, the Nexus on the way. Thought Mana would grease one out of ByuN. I actually thought Mana was the favorite against the ByuN, especially on the European server, but obviously today was not his day. That was kind of a fun series as well, as this is horrible for HARSTEM. This is all going wrong. He's down 14 workers right now, and this Oracle has had a field day in the main. HARSTEM is in some trouble. He's got an army supply advantage, but he's not really poised to do much with it. He's going to step onto the map and clean up the proxy, but apparently that's just going to be it. He's just going to tap out of there. He depowers the proxy gate, and then... yeah, the Oracle's just had a great time. He's lost so much mining. Yeah, HARSTEM was... I think HARSTEM was playing the wrong game there, honestly. Like, I feel like HARSTEM thought Art was... I actually don't know what HARSTEM thought specifically. But that was not it, unfortunately, so... that one will not go his way. And Art getting the 1-0 lead. Art has been, like I say, good in this event, especially in PvP, so do you think that's pretty exciting? Let's re-ready up for game 2. Alright, let's kick this away. GLHF's getting called. And let's see if we can bounce back. As in the top right, up a game already. It is going to be Art, as, yeah, he stepped away to get a drink, the game's over. Art's Oracle did a lot of work. I think HARSTEM didn't quite realize what he was up against, and just the game was away from him. He tapped out. HARSTEM in the bottom left is down a game, looking to bounce back in this best of 5 here in the European League 2025. $3,500 in total up for grabs in this event. Obviously, some of that's already distributed to the players who played throughout the group stages and ended their journeys there. The rest of these guys throughout the playoffs. Obviously, every series won is additional prize money gained. Enjoying the WardiTV events, guys. I'm going to take a quick moment to sell out. So sit back and relax and enjoy the selling out. Pretty simple though. TLDR, this is a WardiTV tournament, and WardiTV events are sponsored by you guys. You guys are the support that make these tournaments happen. So if you're enjoying the competition, if you're enjoying the different formats of the events and the WardiTV 2025 series in general, as we build up towards our 2025 end-of-year championship with a bunch of events in the latter half of the year, do consider supporting. Whether that's a like and a sub on the YouTube or a follow on Twitch, all free to do, or it's just watching the ads, that helps out a bunch. But of course, you can go one step further and subscribe or be a member or super chat and all of those things. All of it really does help us to keep on running these events. And we do have a Patreon page as well, patreon.com/WardiTV. 100% of the pledges on Patreon go directly into WardiTV tournament prize pools. So if you want to support the tournament, specifically the Patreon is absolutely a wonderful way to do that. Like I say, 100% of it goes directly into prize pools so that we can continue to put out events just like the European League, just like the upcoming WardiTV Summer Championship that's coming up as well. That's coming up very shortly, next week. We start qualifiers for that. So yeah, qualifiers for that start next week. It's going to be a ton of fun as well. So yeah, a lot of fun and games in that regard. Just going to be seeing our Sentry and our Stalker continue to gather together. See the Sentries coming around, Hallucination coming through. Let's just see our okay, continue to come about. Twilight Cans are building, a couple of Stalkers on the way. Hallucination will fade away. Robo Facility and the Nexus continue to come around here. The Sentry's still hitting that Hallucination as well. This game is going to be obviously very different with no proxies or really aggression coming. What is fun is that Art's gone directly into that charge upgrade. So charge on the way through already. Robo Facility going to accompany that for now as well, as the Hallucination takes a couple of nibbles off some Stalkers and Sentries. Yeah, charge being fast does obviously give you some very aggressive options. Obviously, if you go charge early like this, you are usually going to try and be aggressive, because why else would you go charge? Everything else you could build into instead gives you a lot more kind of ways to kind of take advantages into the later stages without being overly aggressive. Charge is just specifically good for defensive play. I guess if you just go charge out into Archons though, I mean, get the Prism out and you harass a little bit with the Zealots. Maybe you don't have to do too much, but yeah, definitely going to be an interesting few moments here as HARSTEM just opting for the Immortals. What's fun about the Immortals, obviously, is that then you're playing against Charge, and Charge is not great for Immortals, right? Immortals look at Charge lots and say, well, we don't chunk through, through those for extra damage. So, I actually kind of like the opening that we see out of Art, and as HARSTEM finishes up a 5-minute third Nexus here, 5 minutes and it's completed, his Greed might come under some trouble when this Zealot Archon attack hits. Extra gateways coming online, the Prism is out, and I do get the feeling that we have a very good chance of seeing a very aggressive Art in the next few moments, finding some success very soon here. Prism loads up, those units move to the side. Resonating Glaives will begin from HARSTEM. So Glaives on the way out. Gateways in production, additional probes coming online. Well, I mean, Glaives is actually kind of cool, but it's kind of weird because Glaives is very good against the Zealot phase of this, but Glaved Adept will suck against the Archons, right? Like, that's the next problem in this. Is, though, the Prism is going to go down, the Archons are going to be stuck in the main, and Art is in some trouble as... Okay, the Stalker's not exactly fighting super well against this, and we will actually just lose a Stalker and the recall comes out. But it does take away a lot of the potential of further aggression, right? Where what might have before been this idea of like, oh, I'm going to attack into you, now you can't do that with the Prism gone, and HARSTEM's going to get a chance to finish up gateways. That said, like I said, the Glaved Adepts are not going to trade well with the Archons. Archons are going to actually be a really good counter to the Glaved Adepts. And Glaved Adepts are not going to scale well later into the game, so HARSTEM is looking to attack. But I actually think Art's setup against the attack is pretty good. It really depends on... Can the Archons do enough against the Adepts? I'm a little bit worried they get overrun. Because if the Adepts get rid of all of the Zealots, for example, then yes, there's a very real possibility that maybe those Archons just are not good enough. But the Archons will clean up the Adepts quickly if they get involved in the fight. If the Zealots can hold on long enough, I actually don't really know how this goes. Like, it might just be close enough that I mean, honestly, just the tech unit count here from Art is so good. Two depths on the other side. We'll start to get a lot of probes, actually. Probes on the third base going down as well, but this is what I mean. These Archons are going to crush forward. Force fields do not matter when 5 Archons are charging you down, and there's just nothing here to deal damage to these Archons. These Adepts are going to suck against them, and the Archons are going to have the time of their life. The Adepts shade away to the natural for defense. HARSTEM has done a bunch of damage, do not get me wrong, but he is in trouble. He needs to find a way to fight off these Archons. And like I say, right now, the Glaive Adepts are going to start trying to do their thing, but the Archons, when they turn onto them, they will absolutely smash through. The splash damage from those Archons is massive. I was talking about if the Zealots buy you enough time and so on, but in the end, we didn't even really need Zealots here. We're going to warp in a few more to get the buffer going, but man, like, these Archons have just been absolutely monstrous anyway. And I feel like this entire game, HARSTEM was just playing against something he wasn't really ready to properly deal with at all. Army disappears, and HARSTEM is about to be down 0-2 in this best of 5. HARSTEM is going to be on the verge of elimination as Art takes very quick and rapid control of this series. Depth's going to shade over to the wall. That is going to be a... I mean, that's the annoyance, right? That's what's going on. But HARSTEM doesn't have any way to deal with the Archons. Like, I don't see how HARSTEM ever wins a fight. Like, you can cause trouble, you can cause issues, but this army never dies. And realistically, this army from HARSTEM does die, right? Is what it comes down to, right? Like, in the end of the day, like, one of these armies dies and the other doesn't, so... yeah. GG says HARSTEM. Art is going to take game number 2. And HARSTEM has to bring this back and reverse sweep if he wants to stay in the European League. We'll see if he can do so. Art is 1 map away from victory. Man, Art's PvP has been good, by the way. It is in the group stage. He was down 0-2, by the way. So he lost to Doom, he lost to Night Phoenix, but then he went 2-0 Hydra, 2-0 Geralt, 2-0 Goblin. It's a pretty sick turnaround from Art. And obviously putting him in this position now where he is verging and vying for... I mean, 3-0 against HARSTEM would be huge. And then he plays Showtime next round, which feels very difficult. But hey, you just gone through an onslaught of PvP to potentially, you know, make that do... like, yeah. Would be cool. Oh, it is. Hey, thank you, Cake Machine, for the 16-month resub on the Prime. I don't know if I did. I feel like I sold out, got a sub, and didn't even mention it. So thank you so much for that. Just kind of excited about PvP, I guess. As Art continues his PvP run in this tournament, currently up 2-0 in the top left-hand corner. What's up, Crash? How you doing? Thank you so much for the 2-month resub. 2 months? Yay, hell yeah. Thank you so much for the 2-month resub. Appreciate the support. Thank you for being a StarCraft hero. We appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. In the bottom left side, bottom right side, HARSTEM. Incorporeal for this map 3. It's 2 games where I feel like the game's just gotten away from him. Like, he's just not quite locked into what's going on, and he's ended up with a pretty horrible kind of selection of units against what his opponent's playing with. So it's been pretty tough as the gateway coming down, probe coming about, gates on both sides continuing to set up for the moment. As yeah, the probes continue to come through and we get this all a-running. Totally not a pylon. Thank you so much for the 45-month resub on the Prime. Thank you for all the great games. Thank you so much for all the great support. 45 months of Prime and a sub. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for supporting and being awesome. Like I say, super appreciate it. Thank you. Well, it has not been, like I said, the scorelines have not been what we wanted today so far, but let's see what we get to. Let's just have Cybercore Gateway coming online, getting set up. Center and the Nexus continue to get settled. Stargate and the Adept continue through. We'll just have the Nexus continue to settle down as a couple sentries continue to build. Nexus coming through. Warp gates on the way up on both sides. Get this ready to roll. Adept is going to go shading out down to the bottom right side. That's going to try and get something done. Do you see the Nexus coming through on the side of HARSTEM? It's about halfway through there. Sentry, Stalker, Proxy going to be from Art, and he starts up an Oracle from it. So we will see his aggression coming online here. Stalker just poking. Hallucination taking some damage. Hallucination will fall. Up shading into that natural. For some reason the Stalker put a bit more work out. Gonna play clean up there. Really do much. Yeah, and that Stargate is going to be the question mark. Can this Oracle get up to much? What's HARSTEM's defense going to look like? Does he prep for a unit flying into his base, etc.? Those are definitely the big questions right now. That's the hallucination. I was keeping track. The Oracles have not gone through for much then in the end, so HARSTEM's not going to hate this start. Going to go into the Blink as his follow-up. And Art's going to go into the Robo Facility. Obviously, Blink going to give him some good map control. That's HARSTEM that's going Blink. And the Robo Facility from Art going to allow him to play a very kind of solid defensive position while using these Oracles to maintain map control and harass. So, I don't hate the follow-up on either side. Obviously, I think the Blink's going to give HARSTEM a lot of potential. You've also, always got to respect these Oracles. You can't let them fly into your base. And you've got to respect the stasis wards they can build defensively. That will allow the Immortal-based army to kind of strengthen up and get to good numbers before any real attack from HARSTEM can hit the other side. Let's see the Oracles getting a few more shots. Stalker's getting some good connections there. So we'll go onto the third base. We get that put in position straight away. Stalker's Sentry very narrowly getting that Oracle, not quite able to. The Ho will be able to get it though. Okay, HARSTEM cooking a little bit this game. One Oracle down is a lot less kind of value from that early Stargate. Then obviously didn't do much right away, but you kind of justify it by saying, well, it's going to get to stick around. It's going to get to do more in the future. And now it's like, nuh-uh. Ain't happening. Axis, Robo, and Forge all continuing to build. See a probe going down. The other units going down that ramp as force fields come in here. Couple Stalks going to fight the other way. Sentry's taking some damage. We will see the battery also getting cleaned out for the moment. Art's army continue to press forward. HARSTEM taking a few more shots. Twilight Council will finish in a few moments. Again, additional probes coming up. +1 attacks on the way. The Immortal is coming by. Ooh, Stalker's caught in a stasis ward. There's obviously about 3 Immortals at the moment, and building on that. He's going to keep up with the +1, and he's going to start getting the charge. So he is looking to get the Zelds that the Immortals need to support them. And the Archives building by. And +1 the charge building on up. Just going to see the extra couple of Zelds warping in. Temple Archives will finish very shortly. As you see our army of HARSTEM pulling away back down to that bottom right side of the map. So pulling back down over there. Again, the additional gates coming up. Temple Archives just starting from Art. Going to bring that straight through now as the couple of Adepts will shade about. One Oracle over to the far right side at the moment. Acer Adepts and the mineral line are going to be nice. They're going to get a few probes at the moment, so not actually going to find some value. I like it, because Adepts are not exactly going to do much in your army, so finding a way to get them in and to trade them out for a little bit is absolutely fantastic. 10 out of 10 move. You can absolutely take those. One charge. Going by, man. Harson lost 9 workers overall. Still equal on workers overall, you know, coming out of this, but it is just nice damage from Art. It's a little bit behind on the +1. I guess an extra chrono or so for Harson, because they were pretty similarly timed earlier. But just get that +1 finished, and we'll be back even on upgrades. And again, with charge finishing as well, you start to consider a lot less kind of the opening here from Harson. That blink is going to become less and less meaningful. It's still nice to have blink stalkers. There are a few ways in which obviously blink stalkers can be a little bit useful. Because obviously blinking on top of a prism and shutting that down during a fight or so can absolutely make a big deal of a difference. Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens in the end. Stalker's still gathering. And Archon's finishing, +2 attack on the way at the Nexus battery, cannon online. Also, it's just going to warp about here. That prism loads up on the left-hand side, going to go for a little bit of a journey. Now down to the bottom, there is a army on the left putting some work in as well. HARSTEM on that left side is starting to fight. It's a group of stalkers, and he's mostly looking to bait the army out over to the left so that everything else can come up the right side. First Stay Sword is not bad. Can Art get over here to defend base 4? Second Stay Sword popped on a single Zealot. He's going to get there. So we are going to take this fight. Only shields lost off of that Nexus initially. Now remember, the Stalkers on the left side, they can come back in again. HARSTEM getting some good shots off with his Archons. His Zealot's about to come out of that station and rejoin this fight. He does out-Archon Art on the right-hand side here, but Art wins the fight handily on the left side as those Immortals scratch through those Stalkers that were harassing, no problem. It's just these Archons here. They are doing so much work right now. A few Zealots trying to charge on up. Extra Zealots showing up from HARSTEM as well, though, and Art just needs a few more units to show up on this right-hand side, specifically, really, Archons. He needs something that can truly chew through his Zealots and compete with the Archons of his opponent. The Immortals are nice as long as the Zealots aren't really there in super high numbers, and with extra Zealots warping in, I think now Art will just about clean up. It took a long time to get some final blows as HARSTEM turns away, but yeah, HARSTEM just had a lot of Archons in that army, and those Archons were putting in serious work already, as you saw. Those Archons were absolutely huge. Massive factor as the +2 attack finishes from Art. +3 attack on the way from HARSTEM. Cannon on the way from both. So Zealots and +3 coming through as well, so again, just a little bit of everything getting online. As you see, the army gonna go one way and back and forth. Supplies are still fairly close together. Upgrades gonna be slightly favored to HARSTEM. That +3 attack is a little further along, but only by a smidgen. So again, something else for us to keep watch of as Art comes down this round. There's a lot of Zealots from Art, but he is down on Archons. He's attacking in straight away. He needs his Archons to make sure they can join the fight. He's got one more Archon right in the back there. It looks as though he gets a little bit of a catch on HARSTEM's army, and with the extra Zealots coming through, is going to have enough buffer, despite the Archon disadvantage, to chase this down. Can he actually catch and get rid of these Archons? HARSTEM's own Zealots showing up should mean that he can turn this around, I would say. HARSTEM's going to kind of have Art turning around, but I actually thought HARSTEM could maybe have been the one to start chasing them, but maybe he did not want to get involved in the cat and mouse game of going backwards and forwards in that scenario. +3 attack from both. Archons coming online. Additional few Zealots warp in, the cannon building. Battery doing some healing. So we'll take some swings at this pylon. Good amount of Archons from HARSTEM. The Archon counts at 9 to 6. It's obviously a very Zealot-heavy game, which means you want to kind of have Archons to respond to those Zealots on either side. It's one thing that Art has been kind of trailing behind every fight we've seen. He's always had those couple of less Archons. The one thing I will say is that the larger Archon count we get, the less impactful they are, because it's obviously difficult to get all the Archons in the fight because they're low-range units. So it's much more likely you have Archons stuck in the back the more that you have. Obviously, if you can find a way for every single Archon to fight, then yes, amazing, that's still great. But right now, Art actually just has a serious army supply lead. He's up about 30 army supply in this game. HARSTEM has a bit of money to spend. Obviously, a Warp and a Zealot will catch up a lot of that supply, but... interesting move from HARSTEM is the Robo Facility and Robo Bay. So it looks like he's probably going to... I imagine we switch into Disruptors and we try and take that Disruptor kind of advantage. It'd be a huge deal. Clearly, Art is not super intrigued and kind of going to fight. He's also got a Robo Bay starting, so he's got a similar idea on mind. And this could very well turn into a Disruptor vs. Disruptor game, which becomes a very interesting scenario as time goes by. Disruptors are very exciting in PvP. They're very high octane. They really do blow up a lot of units in PvP at once still. And they will change the course of fights. Honestly, if I'm Art, I want to fight right now because his opponent's actually further toward the Disruptors. And Art just has the better army. HARSTEM kind of looks as though he feels like he can get past Art. Both players are setting up onto base 5 at the moment, so their economies are fairly similar. It's an awkward map because there's so many ramps. Like, you don't get anywhere without going up and down the ramps in the center. And so it's really difficult for either player to just engage because you're always engaging into a choke point. Like, there's no open space. The open space is at a point where you're not allowed to get to because your opponent's army is going to always kind of sit on top of the ramp, right? So that does make it awkward. A big chunk of Zealots peel off to the left-hand side, and if Art gets on top of those, that's a lot of free supply. HARSTEM is getting Disruptors, but, I mean, that's a lot of supply, like I say, going down. That has to be replaced. That's money spent. This was super terrible in the end. A lot of the Zealots just turn around and get away. Still trying to make a play on the top right 5th base. So looking to try and knock that 5th base down. If that 5th did fall, that would obviously be a good opportunity here for HARSTEM to perhaps step back into this. I'm just going to be seeing the Archons, Immortals, Zealots gathering together. Just going to come through over here as well. Archon's going to continue to fight, so these forces trying to play a little bit of cleanup as the armies did split apart. Both players are going to lose a decent chunk of supply as 21 pros went down from HARSTEM. Art had a massive army in comparison to HARSTEM, now not so much. Still has some rebuilding to do. Disruptor counts 5-1. That may be a major issue as we leave just a few Zealots in that bottom left-hand corner. Force HARSTEM to respond to it, but don't endanger the rest of the army. Seems to be Art's way of thinking at the moment. Stalker will chase the extra few Zealots coming around. The rest of the Archon Disruptor Force gathering still. Well, Zealots will hit the upper right. They're going to run into those cannons. That battery going down. You still see the Zealots trying to make their way onto the cannon right there as well. I mean, HARSTEM has maintained a supply lead coming out of that previous set of engagements. If I can get Max back out, that would be great. Actually going to even up a little bit right here. Obviously, Disruptors are involved now. Disruptors can just change everything. One Disruptor shot going off just before your opponent's reaching a good chunk of army could make all the difference. So, at this point in time, Disruptors really do become the MVPs of these armies. They really can be the deal breakers, the difference makers. Power on that right side takes a few shots. We step away with the force, we step back through. Disruptors, bang, bang. Archon goes down. The Disruptor shot fires in, does not quite reach just yet. It's Art that is stepping into reach of the Disruptors. That Disruptor is better for Art, but it wasn't close enough. I thought he was at least going to kill the Disruptor of his opponent, but not going to happen. Shadow Stride about to finish. The later this PvP goes, you get the DTs out, you get the Blink DTs out. Again, Disruptors on both sides. You can see how they're being used. They're so good at just hanging in the back and reaching far enough to significantly push your opponent's army away from you. That's a lot of DTs. No DT Blink yet, but HARSTEM just shows up on that left-hand side, and that is going to be damage being done. That base is dead, no? It's gone? Oh. It's a pretty major play from HARSTEM. Actually being the first one to strike with DTs and get a base kill. Art has a base on that right side that's going to be healthy, so don't be wrong, Art's not out of this yet, but those are a lot of Disruptors. Bang, 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 bang. -50 supply. And that is the expert analysis of that fight. because there's not much else needed. I think this is just a case of disruptors, DTs distract, disruptors then strike, and boom, straight down the middle. Everything dies. 3 zeros will not happen all day long, as HARSTEM will take this one. GG says Art. That all fell apart so quickly that felt like we were kind of tensely going back and forth. DTs created the opening, though. They created the distraction most of all. And that distraction was critical to get in there and to allow HARSTEM to just obviously get ridiculously good disruptor shots. They were way too good. You can't let that happen as Art. That's a no-go. That's not allowed. And something to think about going into a game 4. Yes, guys, we're playing best of 5s, which means we do sometimes get game 4s. I know what you're thinking. It's been 3 maps in every series so far today, but nope, this one's going to be a little different as we get this hosted up in a second. I was like 60 to 70 supply gone in 1 hit. Well, it wasn't quite 1 hit. It was like 7 hits all at once. Hi, Ellie. Come say hi. You gonna say hi? You're just gonna sit there awkwardly. Gonna sit there awkwardly, are you? I think Art's in the replay, so he's taking a moment. Ellie, you want to say hi? He's like, no. Hey. Finally, going to be our next map, getting hosted up. Yeah, doggo won't come between matches. She's very camera shy. The moment she knows the camera is on, she's not a fan. She's trying to turn away. The moment I put the camera on, she's like, "Nope, I'm out of here. I'm making a run for it." I know it's following me. She stopped to check if I was still holding the camera at her, and she's like, "Nope, still there. I don't like it." GL, HF. And we have a game 4 for the first time today. 5 series deep. We finally see more than 3 maps. They've tested it with the resub for 35 months. Appreciate it. Top left, Art still has the 2-1 lead in this series. Can he get back to where he was at in those first 2 games, or will HARSTEM bring us to a game 5? She's running away from the PvP, but she came towards the PvP in the first place. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, just a little Proby getting active. Yo, Dungeon SC, 3 month in advance sub. I appreciate it. Hell yeah, thank you so much for the sub and subbing in advance for a couple months extra. Appreciate it, thank you so much. Alright, so take a couple moments, guys. Obviously, this PvP finally heating up a little bit. Harson getting one back in a longer game. Pro patrolling going down. Sentry coming through the Zealot building. 2 sentries on the way. There's 2 gateways each. And the Warp Gate coming up from both sides as well, as we will just see the little cancellation on the wall off there. Nexus will build from HARSTEM. Nexus on the way down from Heart. Oh, they're both going to go Robo back at home as well. That's fun, because this probably sets us up into a longer game again, because there's not really an advantage from either side that will enable them. There's no real way to enable this game to end at this point, basically, right? It is where we're at with this, so if there's no real way for this game to end, then yeah, this should just go into a longer scenario. The only way it really ends from this sort of scenario is if one of the guys kind of goes for third base and the other just goes for a ton of units. I think that's pretty much the only way that this could potentially go, so that would be a little bit different. Robo Facility about to complete. Twilight Council coming through on both sides. Obviously the plans are similar, and Harson cancelled an Immortal he was building. Goes into the Prism as well, so still matching his opponent there in terms of what they are doing with their tech as they set up through these early stages. Hallucination going down again. Twilight Council about to finish up. Prism will be done very shortly as well. 2 assimilators onto the natural. Sentries and Stalker just going to get that Hallucination nice grab from those guys. Prism going the other way, and we do have our first divergence of the game, really, as the Resonating Glaives goes up against Blink. So HARSTEM Glaives, Art with Blink, is going to be the setup we aim for here. Prism gets denied early from by Art. Very nicely done. HARSTEM just, I think, realized a bit of what was up. He's going to cancel Glaives and go charge. I feel like he had the Temple Archives on the way. It almost feels like with Temple Archives on the way, he almost wanted to go charge that Archon, but then I wonder if that was really... I wonder what the thought process is behind going from the Glaives to the charge. Because obviously with the Temple Archives coming up, it's like almost like he wanted to just build, like I say, like charge that Archon. So I wonder if he maybe saw something, or if Glaives was just a mistake. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be. Just the Temple Archives makes me wonder a little bit. Hallucination falls, Stalker Sentry will clean up. Stalkers get that, the Hallucination goes down. The Prism is ready for R to try and deal some damage. Obviously, he has the advantage of being on the map right now, so we'll be able to try and get something done as the Prism moves about. Stalkers pull back a little bit. Stalkers will take some shots. The Immortals firing back onto said Stalkers. We go back and forth. Prism and that main base going to get a couple of Adepts out. Some Zealots in as well. They don't have charge yet, but they will do soon. The Prism will go down, so Art defends this. He's losing 5 probes so far. Going to take a little longer to get this cleaned up in total. Prism on this side gets deflected at the same time. 7 dead probes. Art is still the one definitely coming out worse for wear. Also able to get some damage done. Obviously cost him a few units. Overall, I mean, 43 to 47 workers. It's still very close. There's a third base finishing from Art, who's already going to be having Disruptors popping. Awesome recognizing this is going to go for a Stargate response. He's going to build Phoenix. The idea is the Phoenix can lift the Disruptors. If a Phoenix lifts a Disruptor that's firing, the Disruptor shot gets cancelled. So that's basically the idea for now. Then charge will start, gateways will build. Archon Forge coming up. Stalker's still gathering, just going to be seeing a couple of Templars and the Immortal building up right now. I said, the Phoenix make a lot of sense given the situation. It's only 2 disruptors, though. I guess my problem is for Odd is that, you know, if he only builds 2 disruptors, well, the Phoenix don't have much to do. But then that's his entire tech. Like, he has nothing else behind that. So, like, if he's going to cut disruptor production, what is he going to do instead? Like, just mass sell at Stalker into, like, Immortal's Archon? Like, HARSTEM's army is significantly better on the tech units already. Last one will be on the way from both. Charge still coming through. Disruptor shots. Oh, I love the attempt. The Prism saving units, and the Stalkers try to blink on top to punish it. As now the Stalkers probably going to have to just blink the hell away as they try to retreat. The Prism is already retreating. The Disruptor's back. Charge will finish soon. +1s are pretty similar timings. It's still just HARSTEM's army looking so freaking good, though. Army wanting to go down this ramp, maybe wanting to try and make something happen here as a couple of Zealots start to take some hits. We do see the Disruptors joining up again. A couple more Stalkers warping in, +1 attack cannons. Gateway continue to build. A couple of those Zealots begin to drop down. A couple of Archons will chase forward. And those Zealots are just going to charge it up. Force fields are going to come down. Archons are still stepping through. This army will look for the fight. I just don't think Odd's army has the quality it needs anymore, right? Like, right now the Disruptor's getting caught in the distance. Like I said, I just don't think the quality is there at all. The Immortal Archon is putting serious work in, and HARSTEM looks good to take us to a Game 5? Is that allowed today? I didn't realize this was allowed. This wasn't written down in the show notes. I thought it was meant to be 3 zeros through and through and through and through. G gets called. HARSTEM takes a 2-2 scenario, and we will go the full distance in this PvP. We'll round this out with one final map. Who advances through to play Showtime in the next round? Odd or HARSTEM? We find out after whatever Game 5 is. I don't know what the maps are. These guys videoed in private, and they've been hosting. So we'll just wait a moment to see what the map is loaded as, and we will go into our 5th and final map. It's Magnatha, a big one for our final game then. What a G. Yes. What a G. It has to be dragged up into the player slot. Go GLHF gets called, guys. Game 5 here. HARSTEM versus Art. The distance has been traveled. Let's see what happens on Magnatha. Top left, the Pink Protoss. Here is Art. 2-0 lead has fallen away from him in the last couple of games. It was a dominant start as well. The first 2 games were just complete dominance. You know, just a combination of compositions that HARSTEM was not ready for at all. It's just been losing out in the longer games in Game 3 and 4. HARSTEM bringing it back. His experience showing strong right now. Probe scouting from HARSTEM. Looking to see what will go on early. So just right from the get-go wants to see a little bit of what the dealio is and what's happening around the map. Art has a probe. Heading down And across. Is this just a scout? Is there some proxy potential in this? Obviously, it has been, you know, a fairly aggressive series. Art's throwing a couple Stargates down here and there. Gateway across the map at one point early in this series too. This is just going to be a scout though. No building on the map for the moment. This is a big map. Honestly, this map could go on a while if we let it. Which at this rate we kind of are just letting it. So it's a real possibility as the Cybercore finishes up. A couple of probes run about around each other. Centering the Zealot, still building through. Continue to get everything underway for now. This drops straight into the natural. HARSTEM will expand. Kind of expecting Art to meet him on that expansion, to be honest, at the moment. Doesn't seem like we're going in any other way right now as the probe will nibble at other probe. Robotics facility going to build from HARSTEM, so that robo comes up. The Nexus halfway done currently. Again, the probe sent, Stalker, the warp gate, a little bit of everything continues to come online right now. HARSTEM just going to build the robo, sees the Nexus. HARSTEM messaged me before the game started. He said he's going to proxy robo. I can smell it. Well, HARSTEM, going to have to get your nose checked out because this is not a proxy robo, to say the least. Pilot halfway done. Nexus halfway done. As we continue. For the moment, hallucination moving about. He's using the Stalker. He's going to push that down, but the scouting's already made. Also, I'm going to go into the Prism. While Art goes into the Twilight Council, and a regular game would tell us that this is going to be Blink, but Art's been obviously liking the Charge and the Archons and stuff, but there it is. Blink it will be. So it's going to be Blink against Robo. That typically means that as Art, you have the mobility of the army, and at first you might be able to make some of the stronger pokes, but obviously HARSTEM will have the sturdiness of the Immortals, and that will be a major factor as the game continues through. Will Adepts make their way straight across? The Blink is about coming up to halfway done. Probes in production. We have the Immortal probe and Twilight Council coming through as well. The Stalkers warp in and that Prism is already going to take some shots. Taking that Watchtower bottom left side, so HARSTEM are going to gather up on that. You're not going to see the Prism just going to recall. And yeah, we have the gateway bottom left here from Art. We'll see if that comes into anything as the Blink comes through. Probably not though, because we already see the third Nexus from Art. It's HARSTEM that's building the glaives, getting the extra gateways online. Proxy gate so far away. Yeah, I don't think he's looking to be aggressive off of it. I think that's just I can warp in some Adepts or Zealots here and just kind of like harass every now and then. It's not a gateway that's looking to reinforce a larger fight, right? It's not like you're like, okay, I need to get back, you know, more units in this fight right now. And then you're waiting 3 business days for the units to walk over. It's more like warp a couple of Adepts in, they'll take their moment to strike, maybe warp some Zealots in later, same kind of deal once charge is done. Talking about that, these Adepts are already taking position right now, so they're already setting themselves up. As Glaives is on the way through. Hallucination going to pop up. These few Stalkers going to bow. We did kill 4 probes in total then from Art, so he does get a little bit of damage done to HARSTEM. Again, this is Game 5 elimination match. Loser out, winner goes on to play Showtime in the top 8 of the European League 2025. Charge will continue through. The couple Stalkers are going to fight. The Adepts will take some damage. Sentries, Immortals taking shots as well. Hallucination off to that right-hand side, also taking damage as You see the charge halfway done. The Stalker's here just walking through, and that's going to be a freebie. HARSTEM takes 3 Stalkers down for absolutely nothing. Scary for Art right now, because HARSTEM's going to push, and the Immortals are great against the Stalkers. The Adepts are going to be great against the incoming Zealots. HARSTEM is going to waltz into the natural. Okay. This is bad because now you're not even really able to be in the right position to defend this. HARSTEM with 20 army supply. And you've got to attack into him because, well, he's attacking your natural. What else can you do about it? Force field's coming down. Stalker's trying for the Prism, but the Prism gets through. The only awkward part is that the Adepts are kind of on their own. Like, these Adepts are all dying on their own. The Immortals are not really helping them out. Gonna pull deeper into this base. The Prism is under attack. It's not enough just yet. The Warp-In will be cancelled, though. The Immortals are going to start going down, and HARSTEM will start to lose these Immortals. Is that good enough from Art? He will essentially stop this attack with a unit composition that is typically meant to be all in, but he's lost 25 probes. Well, honestly, it's playable, no? The worker count's even out. HARSTEM is going to be completely reset on his tech count. And obviously Art's army is made to kind of be on the map and be mobile, and maybe now he gets a chance to do that again. Rebuild the workers up. He's down by 6. Like, he lost so many probes here. If he didn't lose so many probes, he would absolutely be okay on this defense. Shutting down that Prism and stopping that additional Warp-In and just slowing this attack when he did, allowing him to clean it up, was absolutely huge. Prism finishing soon, the Immortal on the way. Adept and Sentry coming about. A little bit Depths will shade for the moment. Trying to get a few more probes here. This Adept will go down. Obviously, HARSTEM has the issue of figuring out what he does next. He's not started anything else off the Twilight Council. He's just built a Mortal Adept again. As he starts +1, there's got to be some future plan as well. This can't just be a Mortal Adept forever. Surely he starts up at least Charge or something soon, but he's still building Adept, still building Immortals. Genuinely a little surprised by that. And there we go. Blink now starting now. I mean, it's setting up as though he wants to push again, but... There's going to be Art on the map on the bottom side, by the way, and the Prism in the main. It's Art's opportunity to get some damage done, and that's going to be a good amount of Warp-Ins here. I like it. These Zealots are going to have a good opportunity. Adepts are shading back to deal with this. The Stalker's going to poke at the front, see what they can do, but answer right now is not really much. Some Zealots there as well. This is not a bad army for Art. Worker counts have completely equalized following everything that happened so far. Going to come in here. Cannon going to go down. We are going to get a Warp-In of Zealots as... Art is kind of just fighting static defense. HARSTEM loses 13 probes. Art is losing workers across the map as a few Adepts have shown up. Now these Adepts are putting work in against those Zealots, and they will clean up. The Prism goes to the natural. There's a cannon there that should stop a lot of this. I mean, Art is still taking damage on the other side of the map. It is those Adepts that just shown up in multiple mineral lines. And if this doesn't get dealt with at some point soon, then this is going to be way too many workers going down. These Adepts just need to stop and attack, and they're going to get a ton more probes. Art's supply has plummeted here as his army's gone down as well, so everything he's used has been given up, and he's not had that much mining because he's been running the probes around trying to defend, and it looks as though HARSTEM is just going to Adept harass his way into victory formation because now it's 110 to 60 supply, and the numbers could not be more different from 0-2 down. HARSTEM bringing us the drama and the excitement that we were looking for today. We did not get it in the other series that were all 3 zeros. Art had been on a great PvP run in this event as well. It is going to get stopped by HARSTEM in this best of 5, it seems. HARSTEM just a bit too far ahead. I mean, now he's up 15 workers, but it's the triple army supply that really tells the tale. HARSTEM heading into the Temple Archives, heading into the charge, and looking as though he is going to secure himself again every advantage possible to close this game out. Again, +2 in the charge still coming up. Couple extra gates of the Temple Archives coming around. Cannon in production. Stalkers get a probe at the front. Prism going to warp in. All going to do what he can to create some chaos and cause some havoc. He needs it, man. He needs to do a lot of work right now. This is not a bad start. 7 workers going down. But the problem that I have is that when these adepts show up, like, these zealots melt. So yes, you get some good damage done, but it's not cheap. That's like 500 minerals of zealots that'll die. Obviously, the Prism's still alive for the moment, although getting cannoned. I mean, the few stalkers that take to the map are not exactly in super high numbers either. They're not looking as though they'll do much. Still looking for that same idea of, like, Prism harass, try to create an opening for the stalkers to strike, but 7 stalkers ain't exactly going to change too much either. There goes the Prism, so there goes that opportunity from Art, and man, this series frustrating as it just slips away from him over the last half an hour or so. But he was in a really good spot in Game 3 as well. Art is going to be, unfortunately, not having a great time about this, as it's all gone wrong. Body supply deficit. HARSTEM. Probably just the way he's playing, taking the 4th base. Yep, they're going to drop it down now, never mind. I was about to say he's going to just take a 4th base and keep on, like, securing advantages while maybe even actually poking out. The 4th tries to come down here from Art, but does that survive? When HARSTEM's right there, he's going to see it. That could be a target. He could just jump on the army, honestly. There's no reason not to. We can see that HARSTEM has enough. Can he make that same call? He also has +2 attack to 1-1. Typically, the +2 attack's going to be a better upgrade there. I think this is fine. He takes the high ground. He takes the open space. He's exactly where he wants to be, morphing more Archons into the fight already. And Art is going to have to respond to this, because HARSTEM's going to start leaking units into the natural and start getting damage done. This base, obviously, here going to get cancelled. Okay, I like that from Art. He's going to get rid of the Prism, so HARSTEM now doesn't have reinforcement warp-ins, and he doesn't have the micro that he might have initially had on the Immortal Archon. So it's one of the best snipes you can make, getting the Prism freely, like he does. The Adepts is going to hit the mineral line. They're just going to go and cause trouble. The army on the bottom side, I mean, this left side base already goes down. HARSTEM doesn't, again, need to do much else. But even if Art just forces him home here, at least that's a win compared to what could have been. Because that could have been a HARSTEM jumping on the army ending the game. Making HARSTEM uncomfortable enough to not do that. And approaching this differently, I think, is a 10 out of 10 move from Art. And he's playing to his outs, which is just take it step by step. Like, don't get me wrong, this is a horrible position. You're down on 3 bases. Your 4th has just got killed. You're down in pretty much every way. But you could have died there. And the play you made meant that your opponent didn't kill you. Right? So you're playing to give yourself some chances. Stepping onto the map, I don't think there's anything Art can do over here. But maybe it's important for him to show some power and show some confidence. Maybe create some space on the map so he can actually get a 4th base up. Problem is, we're kind of just seeing the repeat from HARSTEM, who just comes across the map again. New Prism ready. And so he's probably not going to be afraid to attack anymore. He's probably not going to be afraid to trade like he was prior. High Templars warping in. Coming out, the Archon Immortal moving around. So I guess jumped on, gonna see that getting cleaned out already. Just warps in a few more. Couple of Zard's going to go after and see what they can get. The fight going to break out over here. I mean, Art just has to try and find a way to win. His army is not better. A couple of Zards come around the side, which is nice. They get on top of the Immortals, so it's honestly as good as he can do, but it's hard to really make much out of this for Art because he just doesn't have as good of an army as what HARSTEM has. GG, well played. HARSTEM brings it back from the 2-0 deficit to the 3-2 victory. HARSTEM bringing it through and giving us the series we wanted to see today, giving us some drama, giving us some life in this matchup and in this playoffs. Love it. What's up, Bad Name Bob as well? 6-month resub on the Prime. HARSTEM with the reverse sweep to end the day. Closes us out. Actually gives us a good final kind of bit of action on the day. Crazy. Alright, HARSTEM moves on to play Showtime. So guys, let's have a look at the bracket and where we're at and just show you guys what's going to happen tomorrow, where you can tune in for more European League playoff action. It's a tale of two Terrans and many Protoss as we head into tomorrow's continuation of the playoffs. Tomorrow we're going to be starting with this series right here, Shameless versus Max Packs. And then we're going to do... Oh, no, we're not. Never mind. Oh, tomorrow we're going to do a string of PvPs. Nothing to build the hype like a string of PvPs. Showtime versus HARSTEM. Then Shameless versus Max Packs. The winner and the loser will meet in this series. And then we're going to jump up to Hero Marine versus Skillus. And the loser of that plays ByuN. That's what's coming on tomorrow. So that's what you guys can look forward to tomorrow. And then you can see the Final Four matchups on Sunday, where we'll crown our 2025 European League champion here. And, of course, most importantly as well, 2 seeds into WardiTV 2025 up for grabs. This is a great opportunity for a lot of these players to grab those seeds. You know, there's no Clem in this bracket, right? You know, there's no Hero, there's not a lot of the other Koreans, etc. This is your chance to get a seed into the 2025 championship that will bypass multiple rounds of the competition and give you a great opportunity to make a run to be the 2025 WardiTV champ. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see that. Obviously, that gets decided on Sunday. But tomorrow will be the stepping stone toward that. GG's, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to call it a day. You guys have a great rest of your day. I will see you guys next time. More StarCraft 2 coming up tomorrow. And if you want more right now, YouTube will have an upload of ByuN versus Raynor in about 3 minutes' time when I've made a thumbnail for it. Okay? So go check that out. Obviously, do the usual. Like, subscribe, follow, support, Patreon, and all the rest. And I will see you guys later. Thank you so much. You guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Savad's on the outro, and we'll host someone up, etc.